The session is yours, sir. Thank you.
An effusive welcome to everyone who is present here. We usher you to the world of literature. Damanjodi is famous for National Aluminum Company Limited, which is Asia's largest aluminum refinery. Damanjodi is a place of beauty. Everyone in Damanjodi is a pluviophile, loves to wet oneself in the sirimiri or rain of love. Everyone in Damanjodi is a selenophile, loves to ooze poetry beneath the silvery light of moon. Everyone in Damanjodi is a heliophile, loves to draw inspiration from sun. Yes, we cannot match to the caliber of Shakespeare. We cannot match to the caliber of William Wordsworth. We cannot match to the caliber of Rabindranath Tagore or Sarojini Naidu. What we can do? We can ooze our emotions on the bosom of paper. What we ooze on the paper, that becomes poetry, and we all become poets. Yes, I want to be very candid that I have two wives. One is poetry, another is my wife, unrivaled, peerless Mona Lisa. They both love each other. They don't try to emulate each other. They gave me support and courage. Today, whatever I have been able to indite is because of them. So everyone is a poet. It is the situation, it is the happiness, it is the failure, it is the frustration that make the person indite. And he becomes a poet on that day. Yes, we all are poets without any doubt. Today, with me, great dignitaries, giants of literature are sitting with me in this elite panel. First, I want a brief introduction from everyone, sir. Starting from, sir.
हिंदी चलेगा? मैं अनंत धीस अमन गया जी बिहार से और पत्रकारिता 2011 से मैंने स्टार्ट किया था। उसके पहले साहित्य में रुचि थी। अखंड भारत स्वप्न से यथार्थ तक का संपादक मंडल में रहा और विभिन्न विषयों पर त्रैमासिक पत्रिका के रूप में उसको संकलन करते रहा। कुछ पुस्तकें ये बुक्स के अनुसार से मेरी आ चुकी है, जिसमें सरस से मावस तक की यात्रा है, लाइफ इज मैथमेटिक्स है, डाकिया अब डाक नहीं लाता, आदि आदि। थैंक यू।
Good afternoon. I am Kuntumakul Sai Prakash, an advocate by profession and a poet with passion. I have started writing English poetry only in the year 2020, and I have, to my credit, around 3,000 poems by now. I am in receipt of Gujarat Sahitya Academy Award with motivational strips, and even Nigerian Independence Day Award. Recently, I have been awarded Tagore Memorial Award by Motivational Strips and Sipai, Seychelles. Thank you.
My name is Vasant Kumar Perla from Mangalore, Karnataka. I did my PhD in theatre. The subject is folk elements in Kannada theatre. This is the PhD subject. I wrote in all the genres of literature in Kannada. Totally, I have published 50 books comprising poetry, short stories, novels, literary criticism, research articles, travelogue, translation, etc. I write in Kannada mainly, but we have another language in the west coast, Udupi and Mangalore, that is called Tulu language. In Tulu language also I write, and I got Academy Award also. My interesting fields are literature, theater, TV serials. I worked in TV serials also, and cinema also I worked. Basically, I am a media person. Initially, I worked as a journalist at Bangalore. Then I joined All India Radio, worked 30 years in different capacities in different AAR stations, and retired as a station director. My passion is poetry. That's all. Thank you.
Hello. Namaskar Damanjodi. Namaskar Damanjodi. I am Bidesi Naik from Daringbadi, the Kashmir, Odisha. Professionally, I am a teacher. And originally, from my childhood, I have been writing poems from the age of 18. Now I am 52. Especially in Odia, I have published more than 6 poem collections and another in English, Perception. In my villages, so many dramas I have played as an actor, as a director, as a scriptwriter, and as a lyricist. With Bulu Bhai, both of us were the Odisha Sahitya Academy member from 2017 to 2020. I have launched so many activities from the Odisha Sahitya Academy. Originally, in our Daringbadi, many of tribal peoples are living there. Their language is Kui. I love my people, my indigenous people, and their language. And I'm very happy to be a part of this function. As Bulu Bhai just told me, you come to Damanjodi, we are going to organize a function here. That's all. Thank you, Damanjodi. Thank you, Inkdew.
Namaskar. I am Ajit Kumar Patro. Like my friend from Gujarat, I am also a lawyer by profession and a poet by obsession. But my main obsession is giving a patient ear to the new poets and whoever recites poetry. I keep quiet and keep on listening him or her. And so also, I feel that it is a human service I am doing to the society by giving a patient ear to the poets. Next thing is that I am an avid reader of poetry, as I know both Telugu and Tamil also little bit. So, and Bengali also too, I can understand, but I can't speak. I welcome all my friends from Bangladesh and so also from different parts of India and Odisha. I hope you will be taking very good memories from this part of India or this part of the world also, you can say. And I'm very proud that I'm born and brought up in this place. And I'm quite fortunate that I live in Central AC because the air conditioners are not required in Koraput. because I stay in Koraput, which is around 30 kilometers from here, and which is more beautiful than Damanjodi also, because my friends from Kerala or Bangladesh who have been to Koraput, they can very well say about that. And I hope the scenic beauty of Koraput will give you much more enthusiasm it will create inside you to produce many more good poems. And I pray the Lord, whoever believes in the God, and I pray Allah, who believe in Allah, I pray Lord Jesus Christ, Jagannath, and all the religious sects people, I pray them to give you good fortune, and so also good wisdom, and so also good power to produce more powerful poetry and guide the society in a good way. Thank you. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
I am really ecstatic to be sitting with such great dignitaries, men of knowledge. So let's start the session. Everyone is a poet. Have you discovered yourself? One of the quotes of our father of nation, Sri Mahatma Gandhi, I want to cite. The beauty of poetry is that the creation transcends or surpasses the poet. What is your view on it, sir? Sir, the beauty of poetry is such that the creation transcends or surpasses the poet. What is your views on it, sir? Sir, actually, we have 6 to 7 questions. We'll ask questions to one by one, so it will be easy for us to conduct session.
Could you please repeat the question?
The beauty of poetry is such that the creation transcends or surpasses the poet.
Not only poetry, a poet always wishes that his poem should exceed his glory. Just like a mother who wishes her child to be much more prosperous, much more efficient and productive in their life. Yes, the poet cannot subject himself to a particular way of writing or something. But once it happens, there are the thought of a poet is actually a single thought, whereas the readers will read in different ways. The very poetry, very poem will be much more like what I can say. It will be dissected. It will be chewed for some time, and there will be a lot of opinions on it. For example, let me tell you, when I write something, it is my habit that I make it every day, that I recite it to my children. For example, my younger child will interpret my poetry, that particular poem, in one way. My elder one will interpret the same poem in a different way. Whereas my wife will ask me to read it again. This is how it goes. I often wonder, because I write in a particular thought. Say, for example, if I say a flower is beautiful, yes, it is a statement that I made, but the next lines they may transfer into a different altogether meaning. For example, if I see moon, I wrote a poem on a moonlit night. There came many comments that yes, it is transcendental, it is quite romantic, but the 16 lines are the same. But the comments were entirely different. This is how a poet cannot dominate his poem, because the poem will always take the poet to greater heights, because the readers have their own perception and their own understanding. Hope I have answered the question.
Thank you, sir. You have very exquisitely expressed your views. I want to add more to this. We have heard about poetry. We have heard about our most loved poet, woman poet, Sarojini Naidu. In one of her book, Bard of Time, she wrote one poem in the bazaars of Hyderabad. In that poem, she urged every Indian to love the original products, commodities, and to boycott European products. This was meant for Swadeshi Andolan. Particularly, this poem was given in a beautiful place in New York Times. This was treated as oriental gem in the year 1913. So from this, we can say the beauty of poetry is that the creation surpasses or transcends the poet. We'll move on to our second question. As per our former president, the great scientist APJ Abdul Kalam, poetry comes from highest happiness and deepest sorrow. What is your views on it, sir? Can you explain, sir?
It is one view. Poetry comes out of highest sorrow or highest happiness. It is one view. There are several views, and ultimately we can say spontaneous overflow of feelings, any feelings, bhakti, preeti, love. Bhakti, you all know. And likewise, Navarasas are there. Navarasas are there. 9 rasas, as Bharata Muni said. Poetry may come in any form. It is his experience. It is his spontaneous overflow of feeling. The thing is, the poetry comes from the heart. Wherever I go, I used to say that poetry comes from the heart, whereas the prose comes from the mind. For prose, you need not have feelings. Only you will have to write, that's all. Whatever comes to your mind, you can write an article or write an essay, a novel, a short story, or any form of literary genre from your mind. But particularly for poetry, heart should be there. I mean, it should come from the heart. That is the difference of poetry and prose. If it comes from my heart, I need not elaborate. It will go another person's heart. If it comes from the mind, then interpretation may be required. But for poetry, for good poetry, if it comes from your heart, the best example is Valmiki. See, he saw a hunter, Krauncha Mithuna, Ha, Rama, like that, Krauncha Mithuna, one fell down, the one Krauncha fell down in Ramayana, the origin of Ramayana. The feeling came from the heart of Valmiki. So that is the emergence of Ramayana. From thousands of years we are reading, we are interpreting, we are retelling Ramayana in different ways as per our knowledge and as per our interpretation. For a true poetry, what I feel, it should come from the heart. Then only it will remain. One best example I can tell, I will not elaborate. The next day, my MA examination, I was reading. Some 12 to 13 hours per day I used to read for the examination. I was reading. In one particular subject, my entire reading process, my thought process stopped. The word is moonlight. I do not know. In that word, my thought stuck. And I kept aside all my textbooks and my reading material, everything, and I started writing poem. The next day was the examination. For 6 hours, I wrote once, then I read and rewrote it. Likewise, 2-3 times I improved the poem. Totally it took 6 hours. Why I am giving this example, the word moonlight. The word moonlight, it stopped my entire thought process, and I started writing poem, and the poem came from my heart. I still praise that poem, and that poem was translated into several South Indian languages, and people criticized in several magazines and literary magazines and newspapers, etc. And it is one of my best poems. That is why I gave this example. So in my opinion, poetry should come from the heart in any way, in any form. For poetry, form is also not necessary. We interpret poetry should be like this, but actually it is not like that. Poetry should come very concisely, precisely, and in a very short form. It's a single feeling built in a particular way. That is poetry. There is no exact form for poetry. In any form we can write. The best example is the 12th century Vachana literature of Kannada. Vachana means sentence. Vachana means words. Those days, they wrote the vachanas in the prose format. Actually, vachanas are told in prose way. In prose way, it was written, all the vachanas. But in the 20th century, when literaturists wrote the history of Kannada poetry, they kept the vachanas in poetry division. Actually, it is prose. But why they called it is poetry? Because the thought, the thoughts of Vachana Yuga, the Sharana Yuga, the Bhakti Yuga came in a very concise way and condensed way. That is, it came from their heart. That is why that genre was kept in the poetry division. This is what I want to say. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You beautifully rendered your view. We're immensely grateful to you for your great time here. And the way you responded to the question, I'm quite impressed. I think audiences were also pleased with your answer. We'll move on to another question. The newborn cries. It becomes a poetry for mother. The newborn cries. It becomes a poetry for mother. I feel as if the child newborn cries and recites a poetry. Oh worldly fever, don't come hither. I have my mother to banish you forever. So I want to ask this question to sir. जब एक नया बच्चा जन्म लेता है, वो रोता है, वो एक पोइट्री बन जाता है उसके मदर के लिए. उस पर आप थोड़ा व्यू देंगे.
सबसे पहले तो एक कौशल की धरती, कौशल्या माता की धरती है, जो राम का चरित्र, जिस चरित्र का भारत पूजा करता है, उस धरती को मेरा नमन है. और बहुत सुंदर आपने कहा, इसी कारण से माँ का भी चर्चा मैंने कर दिया. माँ खुद में एक कवि है. और मुझे याद है जब मैं छोटा था तो माँ लोरिया सुनाती थी, नानी माँ सुनाती थी, दादी माँ सुनाती थी. वो लोरिया शायद पोएट्री फॉर्म का ही होता था और वो हमारा बेस्ड था लिटरेचर में इन करने का. वो हमें बचपन में ही मिला हुआ था. और बच्चे का क्राई करना या किसी भी जानवर का एक चचाहट भी जो है, वो सारा साहित्य और काव्य है. वो सारे अलंकार है. हम उसको अलग अलग फॉर्म में देखने को हमें साहित्य में मिलता है. इस क्षेत्र में जब मैं इन किया तो यहाँ की जो वादियां हैं वो अपना साहित्य गुनगुना रही है और उस साहित्य को चिंतन करने का विषय है. और ऑटर, जब हम इस पर लिखे थे, एक पॉइंट लिखे थे, ऑटर डिस्कशन जो होता है वो हमेशा एक बातचीत तक सीमित हो जाता है. बट जब इनर डिस्कशन खुद से करते हैं तो एक साहित्य का रूप लेता है और वो प्रोज का रूप लेता है. और बच्चे का जो क्राई करना है वो माँ के लिए वो सुखद एहसास है कि उस बच्चे की रोने के सुनने के लिए वो हॉस्पिटल में जब बच्चा लेता है तो सबसे पहला उसको रुवाई सुनने के लिए डॉक्टर उसको तैयार करता है. जो बच्चा नहीं रोता है उसको समझा जाता है कि उसमें कहीं ना कहीं कोई समस्या है. तो ये सबसे बड़ी पोएट्री है पूरे विश्व की, बच्चे के रोना. और मुझे लगता है कि ये मेरा जो है, शायद आप इससे संतुष्ट हैं. और शायद साहित्य का उद्गम ही रोने से हुआ है और मृत्यु तक विजय पाने तक का हुआ है. ठीक, थैंक यू.
Sir, you have very exquisitely expressed your view. We're quite impressed the way you answered the question. Really, the way the newborn cries, it becomes a poetry for mother. To this, the mother feeds nectar from her bosom and her lips ooze lullaby to which the newborn sleeps. We'll move on to next question. poetry is breath and final spirit of knowledge. This is a quote of William Wordsworth. I request sir to answer on this, sir.
Thank you. As we all know, mainly students from English literature, they know that Wordsworth philosophizes nature, Keats beautifies nature, Shelley intellectualizes nature. This way the process goes on. So the main thing, what Wordsworth says, or now also we feel the kind of world we are now living in, with the war in Ukraine, the Russian war against Ukraine, the kind of despotism we find in Afghanistan, or the kind of financial crisis we find in Sri Lanka, or the kind of political upheaval in Pakistan. In this condition, the main duty and the honors of the poet becomes that he is there. What my friend answered to the last question is that the way the cry of the child is poetry to its mother, similarly, the cry of the poet is the answer to the problems of the society. So, the society looks at poets and writers to give them good guidance. In the past, we have seen Karl Marx, the book Das Kapital has changed the world. Similarly, there are many books, many of you, because it is such a lengthy process, you know, while talking about this Gulliver Tales and all that, Jonathan Swift wrote that doing some sort of, it was a mimicry to the government then which was running in England. So indirectly he criticized the government there. Similarly, many poets who have given their life due to their another thing I can say about Qazi Nazrul Islam, his poems Bidrohi, Ami Bidrohi, is such a wonderful poem, you know. It imbibes the student mass and the youth mass into action. It galvanizes the youth to do something good. In this connection, I would like to request all of you present here that let us create some poems regarding the day-to-day affairs of our country as well as of the world, so that we can show a light to the youngsters who are present here and who can later on read those lines and they can imbibe themselves by those lines. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your beautiful answer. I want to add little bit more to this. As you all have come to this place of Odisha, we all know about Santha Kavi Bhima Bhoi. In spite of abject poverty, blindness, and no education, his penchant for literature made him immortal. His famous poem, Mo Jibana Pache Narke Padithau Jagata Udhara Hou. This has been inscribed on the Ino Hall in various languages. If we can translate it, we can say, witnessing the plethora of plight on this earth, how one could bear with. Let the world be redeemed at my cost. So he is a great poet, and his inklings are famous all over the world. Stuti Chintamani, Adi Yanta Gita, Stuti Nishada Gita are his best creations. So now we'll move on to our next question. A man's mind is 1,000 times more beautiful than the earth he dwells in. This is a quote of William Wordsworth. I will request sir to. I want to repeat the question as per request of sir. A man's mind is 1,000 times more beautiful than the earth he dwells in.
Thank you. All panelists are the invited panelists other than me. I was sitting there, but when brothers called the audience to participate, I myself came. I was listening to the all panelists. Can I tell in Odia?
Yes, sir.
I'd be very comfortable.
Sir,
Thank you. ପ୍ରାଣୀଙ୍କ ଆରତ ଦୁଃଖ ଅପ୍ରମିତ ଦେଖୁ ଦେଖୁ କେବା ସହୁ ମୋ ଜୀବନ ପଛେ ନର୍କେ ପଡ଼ିଥାଉ ଜଗତ ଉଦ୍ଧାର ହେଉ। ସନ୍ଥ କବି ଭୀମଭୋଇଙ୍କର ହୃଦୟର କଥାଟିଏ, ଯେଉଁଠି ମଣିଷ ନିଜ ପାଇଁ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା କରେ ନା, ଯେଉଁଠି ମଣିଷ ନିଜ ପାଇଁ ଭଗବାନଙ୍କ ପାଖରୁ କିଛି ମାଗେ ନା, ଫର୍ ନଥିଂ ହି କଲ୍ସ ଟୁ ଗଡ୍ ଫର୍ ହିମସେଲ୍ଫ ବଟ୍ ଫର୍ ଦି ସୋସାଇଟି, ଫର୍ ଦି ୱାର୍ଲଡ, he calls to God, oh God, come to this earth and save the people. ये होची कविर मनर कथा। कविर मनरे साधारण मनीष मनरे जहाँ थाए ताहा पृथ्वी ठारू 1000 गुणर अधिक। प्रतिनियत every time he thinks about something, से तार मनरे किछि प्रतिक्रिया सृष्टि हुए बोली से प्रतिक्रिया को से तार एक्शन रे कहे एवं से एक्शन टिके अधिक हेले जदि ताको भावनार परिणत करबा चेष्टा करे से कलम धरे आ लेखे। मु जहा भाबे मनीष जदि भाबी न थांता, मनीषर मानसिकता जदि घूर्णायमान पृथ्वी ठारू अधिक क्षिप्र गति रे घूरी न थांता, ताहले आज हुए तो पृथ्वी से प्राग ऐतिहासिक जुगर पृथ्वी भले रही थांता। आमे समस्ते से गच्छर बकल पिंधि थांते, चमड़ा पिंधि थांते एवं कंचा मांस खाई बंची थांते। मनीष मनरे प्रतिक्रिया सृष्टि हला, से प्रतिक्रिया विघटन रूप नेला एवं ताको से काम रे लगैला, चक्र सृष्टि हला, सेठू पृथ्वीर रथचक्र घूरिबा को लागिला आगो को आगो। तेणु ये जो घूर्णायमान अवस्थाटी मनीषर मनरे प्रतिनियत थाए, ताकू से कलम रे जेतोले रूप दिए कविता हो जाए, जेतोले रंग रूप दिए कैनभास रे ताहा पटचित्र हो जाए, गाल्प्य टिके लिखिले गल्प हो जाए, उपन्यास उपन्यासिक जेतोले ताको कलम रे स्थान दिए ही मेक्स ए गुड नॉवेल। तेणु मो मतरे निश्चित भाव में मनीष मनर प्रवृत्ति जहाँ प्रतिनियत घुरु थाए, प्रतिनियत ताकू चिंता करे को बाध्य करू थाए एवं सेति पई से किछ ना किछ लिखे। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. Poetry is not restricted to any vernacular. Thank you very much to all the distinguished members sitting with me for their time. I enjoyed the time. It was really a privilege for me to sit with you all. Thank you very much for your time, for your patience. I want to end the session with a poem of Sri Abdul Kalam sir. Yes.
But you have no words. You can't write. Poetry happens, you can't create, means poetry happens, you can't create.
Sir, please take your microphone.
Poetry happens. You can't just say because I my
In which language you are comfortable, sir? In which language? You are
my language you will not understand. But my point is, sir, here what I want to say. You without language, you can't write poems. Heart or feelings of your thoughts. If you say everyone is poet, I don't think so. Everyone has feelings of emotions there. But you have to express with the words, with the language of your mother tongue or whichever language where you are comfortable. But everybody, and this is the most difficult form in the literature. Poem is a very difficult
Okay.
form of the literature.
okay. Do you
So
want?
this subject somewhere is contrast inside only.
Okay.
So here your questions is saying, which is very much third question where you said that mind is beautiful than the poems or writing. I agree with that because मुझे जितनी भी भाषा है मेरे पास फीलिंग्स है, लेकिन मुझे अगर वो एक्सप्रेस करना नहीं आता है इन वर्ड्स, आई एम नॉट बिकम पॉइंट.
Right.
So this is my point.
Right. But as per your questions, you see.
I am not questioning. I'm just
Rather
telling you,
view. I'm sorry. I'm
giving
sorry.
my view
I'm
towards
sorry.
these questions of
Again-
everybody is poet.
Again, what you have raised is finding words for expression. That's why I said it's a question and you said it's a view. It's okay. As per Wordsworth, the definition which we are taught in English literature sessions is that the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings recollected in tranquility is called poetry. And so also one of our greatest poets of Odisha, I was going through his biography, wherein he has written that poetry is something like, you feel like going to the bathroom, you feel like eating, you feel like sleeping. Like this, poetry automatically comes to you. But people who are having words and who exercise the words very well, they can only produce poetry. And most of the peoples, they feel it, but they cannot express it. There, the death of poetry becomes, and no one becomes a poet there. A person who can express himself through words only, he becomes the poet. Is that right, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you. We are getting late, so that's why we are getting late. So I hope we are going to conclude this session here. And sir, yes, sir wants to speak.
His observation or your opinion is correct. We agree with you. Poetry happens and it is not a creation. It happens. So that observation is apt and correct. One more thing I add to your opinion. Because of poets, the world exists. The entire world goes in a pessimistic direction. Poet only going in the positive direction. Because of poets, the world exists. The entire world gets life from poets. Thank you.
सर पॉजिटिव के साथ हम लोग जो नेगेटिव और पॉजिटिव शब्द बोलते हैं, लेकिन उसमें जो नेगेटिव इन द सेंस वो नेगेटिव पॉइंट को भी हमें रखना है एज ए पोएट. कई बार क्या होता है कि हम लोग इतने पॉजिटिव की ओर भागते हैं कि हमें जो महसूस होता है, हमें जो दिख रहा है हमारे सामने कि यह दिस इज विच इज हार्मफुल for the society or for me, as a human being. So वो negative things को भी positive सोच में डालकर अगर हम रखते हैं, तब जाके वो it's reflect
Thank
the
you, sir.
idea of the thoughts.
We can tell it proudly that we do not write poem, but poetry writes us.
Correct.
Thank you.
Correct.
Okay.
May I Take your attention, please, sir. This is such a beautiful topic that this discussion has no end. So, because of the time constraint, oh, this was really a wonderful session. So, we have our small token of appreciation from Inkdew. So, I will request Gayatri to present the memento to our uh, dignitaries named Anand Disan Aman, Bihar, India. Sir, we have a small token of appreciation on behalf of Inkdew. First, Anand Disan Aman, Bihar, India. Second, K. Sai Prakash, Sai Prakash, Andhra Pradesh. Next, Dr. Basant Kumar Parela, Karnataka, India. Next, Bidesi Nayak, Damanjodi. Oh, yeah, sorry, sir. Then Ajit Kumar Patra. Then Susil Gochar. Once again, thank you all of you for this wonderful session. Okay. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, next we have our another session. That topic is Women in Indian Literature, the epitome of success. And this is so beautiful topic and especially my favorite one. So I welcome on stage Dr. Sigma Satish, Kerala. I welcome on stage Dr. Sigma Satish, Kerala. Dr. Resma Romis, Karnataka, India. Setaduri Padmavati, Telangana, India. Sri Mohanchari, Maharashtra, India. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome on stage. Anyone from the gallery who want to anyone from gallery, any lady, any ma'am who wants to take part in this discussion on topic, because one of or two of our guests are not present due to some unavoidable reason. Any? The topic is, ma'am, women in Indian literature, the epitome of success. Women in Indian literature, the epitome of success. Anyone? Okay, anyway, within this four powerful women, we are going to start the session. The moderator will be here, the ma'am, Dr. Sigma Satish. Ma'am, may I request one thing? Okay, say welcome. Welcome, ma'am, come. Huh, 40 minutes. Ma'am, your good name? Okay, we have our another guest, Prapanni Panigrahi, and so he'll join in this session. So, ma'am, because of the time constraint, I would request on behalf of Inkdew, please end the session within 40 minutes. Okay, ma'am. Try to witness it within 40 minutes. Now the session is yours, ma'am. Dr. Sigma Satish, Kerala, the moderator of the session. Thank you, ma'am.
Hi all, good afternoon to everyone. After this session, everyone is a poet. Have you discovered yourself? After the first session, we have the second session here. It's titled Women in Indian Literature. So this is a one interesting topic. As we know, Indian writing and literature has become a center of attraction in the arena of world literature. We have a host of writers, and they have begun writing predominantly about feminist writing, about women themes, about Indian themes, aspirations, and they use different narrative techniques, arts, etc. And as we know, because India has got this patriarchal setup, and Our literature, Indian society neglected women very much, and their innermost feelings, sufferings, their experiences were not heard. But nowadays, despite of all these things, despite of education and other things, now women express their sufferings through their writings. These things we all know very much, and here we have a discussion about women in Indian literature. Especially, and one more thing I want to tell is that India has got a wonderful literary background, and it's enriched with mythologies, myth, legends, and our writers explored various themes, male and female writers. So our regional literature is very rich. And here in the panel, we have Dr. Reshma Ramesh, then Sitaluri Padmavati, Jayasri Mohanchari, and our new panelist, Praparni Panigrahi. So, welcome all the panelists to this wonderful session. And first, let me introduce Dr. Reshma Ramesh. She's an award-winning bilingual poet, writing in English and Kannada. She has the unique honor of her poem being displayed permanently in the ruins of ancient city of Olympus, Turkey. She has represented India at various prestigious national and international festivals, and she represented India on 37th World Congress of Poets. Her latest book, Language of Shadows, collection of poetry and photography, is published by Edition Delta, Germany. So she is a well-known poet, and she inspired our young minds. So my question is, being a doctor, writer, poet, and activist, how do you think a professional like you have influenced readers through your writing?
Thank you, Dr. Sigma.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sure after lunch, everybody's feeling sleepy, so bear with us for some more time. And yeah, that is a good question. So people ask me, being a doctor, how come you write poetry? Of course, not poets, the other general people. So I think you don't have to be in a certain profession to write poetry, because as the previous discussion was there, poetry comes from the heart, and a profession does not define poetry. So I think being a professional or being educated and being in a position where you interact with women and public every day, like me, who is a doctor, I think we have a lot of responsibilities, extra responsibilities, to express and write, because we have a platform where people hear what we say. When I say people, I mean women especially. So we should be very careful, we should be responsible, we should be sensitive to what is happening around us, and then express it in the right way, uh, and especially to motivate, especially young women, because they're always looking up to you. So I would here like to take an example of Sudha Murthy, who is from Karnataka. She is the epitome of success, as the topic goes, in literature. Coming from Karnataka, she was the first and the only woman student in her engineering colleges. If you see her interview, she says that how difficult it was being the only lady, and she went about to become a success in in writing novels and in literature. So why I'm inspired by her is because she comes from a middle class South Indian typical family, which we can connect to, because that is who we are. And why Sudhamurthy is completely different from other writers for me personally is that she does not go into that genre where uh, sh- the I mean, she's blaming the men for the women's misery. She is, I think, one of the very few people who said that a man and a woman is responsible for generally the women's misery, and she added women also into that genre. And most of her writing is sort of based on that. And also, she connected the young, millennials who could go abroad, travel abroad, who had a lot of opportunities, and how, especially, to make more money, and how that would affect the people back home. So she dealt with these kind of topics, and I think she's one of the most successful writer whom people can connect to, especially because the language is so simple and so good, and the women can cook and keep reading her. It is so simple. So that would be my answer, Sigma. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reshma. And Dr. Reshma was mentioning about nowadays we have got big platforms. After globalization, after the invention of I can't say invention, after the networks became popular, we have got a wonderful platform to exhibit our writings. Anyone can write, anyone can publish, and through this online world, through media, we get publicity. So my second question is, uh, what is your view about women writing in cyberspace,
Okay. So
cyber literature?
yes. So I think absolutely this is the future. The cyberspace in literature is the ultimate future that we are all already in, and we are all also looking into it. And especially with the metaverse coming now, I think it's going to be soon a reality. Everything is going to happen on online. So as all of you know, Facebook, Instagram, and all other social media platforms where women are able to go and express themselves, women are able to capture an audience, without, before it was very difficult. If you speak to any writers who were from the 60s, 70s, they would say that they would write a letter to the magazine and send it through post and wait for many, many days whether it has been accepted or not, and then it gets published. But now it is not like that. Publication is self, publication is instant. So then other advantage is that women can access this literature. They have access, nobody's stopping them. All you need is a device. And they're exposed to so many different genres. It is not that they have to read only one genre which they are allowed at home or somebody's telling them to. So they have complete independence, different genres, and it is self-motivating, and you learn new skills because you have to know how to use the gadgets and all, and complete time management. You can read whenever you want. You can carry so many books in your ebooks, and the advantages are so many. It is just too many. But of course, it also has disadvantages like cyberbullying, like even in the outer space, it is the same in the real world. So I think it is completely the future where you are accountable, and you're also, you learn and you grow so much. And being going viral is a thing that you can become famous instantly. And also, yes, collaboration. I think everybody knows what happened in the pandemic, that we were all going online and collaborating, which can happen only in the virtual world. It's very difficult in the real world. So many advantages are there, and definitely that is the thing, that is the space that every woman writer has to be in the future also. Thank you, Dr. Sigma.
Thank you very much. Yeah, cyberspace is like sea. Anyone can write, anyone can publish good things and bad things, and it is easy to go viral. But the important thing is that um, our literature grows, whether it is print media or through online media. Thanks for that. Thanks for the cyberspace. And we are all here today just because of the cyberspace. We are all connected because of the cyberspace. Hats off to cyberspace. Now, moving to Ms. Jayashree Chari. Please give her a huge round of applause. It's not huge round, please. Okay. She's I have to read her bio, short bio. She worked 12 years as a journalist, and she's a wonderful writer, activist, and short story writer in Tamil and English. And she translated works in Hindi, Marathi into English. And she won national awards in photography. So welcome Miss Jayshree Chari into this show. And yeah, basically, yeah, we interacted today morning. I understood that she's from Tamil Nadu and she's living in Maharashtra. So she's a well-versed translator, as I said, she's a well-versed translator and a writer. My question is, can you briefly say about the role of women in Tamil literature?
Namaskar. It's a pleasure for me to attend this wonderful panelist discussion. Um, Actually, Tamil is an ancient language and it has a rich tradition and the literature. I can't cover up all these things. I just want to give some uniqueness as I have felt. Okay. Once, however, the ancient Tamil poetess once said, "Kattrathu kayyalavu, kalladadu ulagalavu." That means what we know is like a handful of sand, whereas what we unknown is like an ocean. This is very more relevant even today because we know that learning process is a continuous one. So I think this poet's quote is very essential and we should follow these her words also. Then one Nathini Kinayar, that poetess identify the stages of women as Pedai, Pedumbai, Mangai, Madandai, Arivai, Terivai, Perilampin. That means Pedai. Pedai means the age between 5 and 7, that is innocent child. Then in Pedumbai, young girl 8 to 11 years. Then Mangai, adolescent 12 to 13. Madandai, that means pupil girl 14 to 19 years. Arivai, 20 to 25 years, maiden. And Terivai, womanhood, 26 to 32 years. Then Perilampen, that is more matured woman, 32 to 40 years. Then when I move to Bhakti movement, that is one Karaikal Ammayar. She wrote very devotional songs on Lord Shiva, and that is called Tirupadigam. Then Mangayar Karasar, Isaignaniyar are all the renowned poet in Tamil. Then Andal, one of the 12 Alvars in Vaishnavite tradition. In Andal's Tirupavai, I have come to know that at that time itself, Andal explained about the concept of water evaporation and formation of rain, and he had concerned about the environment. In later stage, many writers like Lakshmi, then Anuradha Ramanan are writing in very efficient way on many burning issues. Then nowadays, due to that world, cyber world, many poets and writers are blooming in Tamil literature also. They have good knowledge, they have good efficiency, and we are very proud of these people like that.
Thank you, Jayashree. We have got a brief knowledge about ancient Tamil writings. Bold and beautiful writers we had in Tamil. So my next question is, how literature influenced you to become a journalist?
Oh, it's a very interesting one. Actually, I'm from basically from Tamil Nadu. Now I am in Maharashtra. In the morning session itself, the chief guest expressed that literature is a society's mirror. So I want to know about Marathi literature. Actually, fortunately, my one of my Marathi Maitrinis introduced me to the Marathi literature. You all know that Savitri Bai Phule, the first teacher, is from Maharashtra only. So I just want to know more about Marathi literature. Then I go through the Gram Gita that is written by Sant Tukudoji Maharaj. In that book, on those days, he said equality, women empowerment, and the need of co-education like that. So I want to spread my knowledge, wisdom, which is gained from the Marathi literature to my Tamil fellows. So there is one Tamil proverb, Yam Petra Inbam Peruga Ivayagam. That means, let this world obtain the happiness I have obtained. So just I try myself to write Marathi quotes and Marathi literature saying into Tamil. It receives good response from the readers. Likewise, I just translate Tamil literature into Marathi. It was also well received by the Marathi readers. So it boosts my journalism in me, and I can do all the things very nicely. So I am very happy now.
Wonderful answer. Literature is life, and literature groomed her to become a journalist. So now in our midst, we have got uh, Ms. Saitalari Padmavati from Telangana, India. About her, she is a creative artist, poetess, and writer. She's a postgraduate in English and worked more than 3 decades and held important positions in school, in CBSE school, like HOD of English, principal, and academic coordinator. Her stories and poems appeared in different national and international journals, and she's a bilingual writer also. She's the editor of Your Space magazine, News India. Welcome, Ms. Padmavati.
Thank you.
So, yeah, she's a, as I told, she's a writer and a poet. So I have a question to you. Can you mention the favorite Indian women writers and their contribution to Indian literature?
Thank you, Dr. Sigma. Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to participate in this event. So, when we talk about the women writers, we had many even in the past, even now. When we talk about the women writers like Sarojini Naidu, Anita Desai, Kamala Das, those days, the women writers, they wrote different types of writings like poetry, novels, stories, etc. And when we talk about presently, nowadays, even we come across some writers like, Shashi Desh Panda, Arundhati Rai, like Tara Seghal, then Kamala Markandeya, etc., etc. So there are many writers. Usually these writers, they focus on certain themes which are related to the status of women today or in the past, maybe before independence, whatever you talk. These writers mainly concentrated on the status of women, their struggles, how they are depressed due to many reasons, we can say. They also concentrated, they focused on gender bias, sexual harassment, maybe due to marital life, or we can say out of this life, even marital life. whatever it is. So these are the main problems. And one more thing is that, especially they focused on freedom of women. Whether these women are really independent, do they really want to become independent? That is the first question we feel about women. See, we all think about our society, Indian society. You just take Indian society. So how far it has been changed in the past and now. And when we talk about especially this patriarchal society or man dominated society, we can even today we feel that the women are not very safe. They are having so many difficulties inside the family or in the society when they work, especially working women when they go out, okay, in their workstations or inside the family, everywhere. So we know all these, issues, like mostly they concentrated on these issues and how women are, suffering emotionally. Okay, that is what, through their characters in the novels, these women writers, they try to explain the women's issues, and they try to bring some kind of solutions also. Maybe the reader who can read, I mean whoever reads, may realize the issues, and I think somewhere some of the people may also try to find out some solutions also. That's what I feel, Dr. Sigma.
Thank you so much, Patnavati. Um, yeah, I too agree with you that there are common themes used by Indian writers, male and female writers in fiction, and they explore the themes in poetry, in plays, in short stories. Usual themes like sadness, loneliness, identity crisis,
Yeah, you are right.
alienation. These are the themes Indian women writers explored, and writers like Kamala Das confessed. She is a confessional poet. Yeah, our literature is very rich, and yes. And I have another question to you. What is the change that literature has brought about in the modern women?
Yeah, definitely. I can say that the women have changed their style of life. Let us just think about the women who lived in the past. Most of them, they were confined to the kitchen. Let us talk about that. Most of the women, they did not have a chance to go out, and they did not have any opportunity to explore themselves or get educated, etc., etc. But literature definitely influences women. So the one important point we have to accept here is that they should read something. Okay, unless they read, they cannot have any influence. That is what I want to say. The readers will be influenced in several ways. Like, they might become very brave, bold enough to take decisions. They can become good decision makers. Maybe they may have financial independence. They may tackle the things in a wise manner, or maybe they can fight for independence, self-respect. Am I right? So these are the things normally, we may see changes in the society. I really say that yes, there is a change among women, even among the girls. Where as a teacher, when I was teaching, the girls also, I could see many girls, they look so brave enough to take their own decisions to move around and have some global exposure, etc. So this is not a common thing nowadays. I feel, this is how the literature influences women, influenced women to change their lifestyle, to move outside, even to fight against such certain problems, issues. We don't know how many people are, bravely fighting against these problems. I think they might have got some solutions also. So everyone wants to have some kind of independence in their life, freedom of right. We say, fundamental rights. Do we really enjoy certain rights or not? So it depends on, I think it depends on a person's, thought process, the way they mingle, with the society, etc. So to talk about a lot of things are there. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Padmavati. Yeah, she told is correct. The status of women differs from country to country, whether it is underdeveloped or developing or developed. But the problems remain same. And nowadays, as we discussed and as we no no as I told, like cyberspace help us a lot to solve our problems. For example, the rape victims and other things got exposed in public because of this media and because of the cyberspace. So it creates an awareness among the readers, among the public. More people are coming forward to tell their problems. So the personal problems becomes public, and it raises consciousness among the public. So literature is a wonderful medium, to make women bold and beautiful. Thank you so much. And now we have our new panelist, Praparni Panigrahi. I think my pronunciation is correct, is it? Yes. She's from Koraput, Odisha. She is a person from this area. She is a bilingual poet. She is a teacher um, and a wonderful poet. And yeah, I have a question to her. What are your favorite themes as a poet, as a prose writer? What are your favorite themes?
Good afternoon, Jai Jagannath. Am I able to take away your sleepy times? Am I able? Okay. So, for me, the question is what is my favorite theme for writing? I'm a poet, and no doubt, obviously, my favorite theme is love.
Wow.
Because it's so deep, so meaningful. It's never ending, suitable to all timeless theme. And it's it's like a germ among all the feelings and emotions. So it's my all-time favorite.
Thank you. I heard that your mother is a writer. Yes. But she's not known to the world. And how mothers can influence next generation. How your mother influenced you?
Very good question. Thank you, madam, for asking this. I'm the eldest child. And when I took birth, my mother has given my name Praparni. You have never heard this name, I think, somewhere. Praparni. Pra means the first, Parni means leaf. The first leaf, because I am the elder one. So my mother's poeticness, that has created my name, and till now, till this time, I have never heard this name anywhere, not only in Odisha, but all over India and world, you can say. And one question I would like to ask you, do you respect Devi, Mother Goddess? Yeah. And other side, can you tell me, do you fear to whom more? Shiva, Vishnu, Krishna, Ram, or Kali Mata and Devi? Yeah, because she is creative. She is the creator and also destroyer. Those who are creative, they can destroy. And she is the woman. That's why God has given the quality to create her. In 9-10 months, she will carry a child on womb, and she knows what is the pain, and she knows how she feels when she gives birth to a child. I'm a mother, I know. So the same like a creation, a poetry is a creation. A poet knows when a powerful thinking comes, how he or she feels, and when she put it into ink or write somewhere, how she feels, what type of relaxation and all. That's why a woman will be a genuine, perfect, expressive, and powerful poet. I mean writer.
Thank you so much.
And 1 minute, madam.
Yeah, please.
I'll tell about my mother, just 2 sentences. She's a housewife. At that time, she has got matriculation. I will tell she's a poet because she has read Ramayana many times, and to this much big Ramayana, she wrote just in 50 pages, and that is under publication. But my father is telling what you have written, maybe there will be some mistakes, so we should not go for it. But my mother is confident and she is telling that you should do it for my next generation. Yeah, I know, dear.
And she
So, thank you.
influenced you a lot.
Yeah,
Yes.
she influenced me a lot. I'm here because of her.
Great. Yeah, of course, our parents, especially mother, influence us a lot throughout our life. As you told, they are the creator. Yeah, so we had a fruitful discussion on different topics here. And as we know that women in literature is a huge topic. It's very tough to understand the mind of a woman. So it is very tough to discuss all the things in detail here. But still, we had a fruitful discussion on the topic here. And women find literature the most expressive platform. And we hope that in 21st century, you know, women may enter a new, they may open a new life in literature, and so there is no doubt about it that not only in English but in other languages also they contributed a lot. So without women, there is no literature. Most of the literature, most of the themes are based on relationships. So we need men and women there. And we hope that in future we will discuss a lot about women in literature topic. As of now, hope you enjoy the session. Thank you so much for the support, for supporting all of us. Thank you all. Thank you, panelists.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really a wonderful session. Men and women, both are two sides of a coin. One is incomplete without others. So now I will request Gayatri to. We have our small token of appreciation memento for our panelists on this session. I would like to request Mrs. Gayatri to present the memento to Dr. Sigma Satish, Kerala. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for them. Then you have Dr. Resma Ramesh, Karnataka, India. Then Setaruri Padmavati, Telangana, India. Jayasri Mohanchari, Maharashtra, India. And we have our new finalist, that Prapanni Panigrahi, Odisha. थमनी नहीं चाहिए तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट, थमनी नहीं चाहिए तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट, चेहरे पे होनी चाहिए चकचमाती मुस्कुराहट, क्योंकि कविताओं की चर्चा अभी शुरुआत होने वाली है. मैं स्टेज पे आमंत्रित करूंगी। हमारा अगला सेशन है मेरी कविताएं। तो मैं स्टेज पे आमंत्रित करती हूँ डॉक्टर कविता सिंह प्रभा, दिल्ली। मैम, वेलकम ऑन स्टेज। डॉक्टर कविता सिंह प्रभा, दिल्ली। मिलोजा बासुमतारी, आसाम, इंडिया। वेलकम मैम। उर्मिला आचार्य, छत्तीसगढ़, इंडिया। आनंद देश अमन, बिहार, इंडिया। देन नदीम Nahid, I request all of you to come on the stage, come on the dais. Sabita Sahu. Okay, Sabita Sahu. On behalf of Inkdew, I welcome again on this dais, on this program. Dr. Kavita Singh Prabha, ma'am, will moderate the session. Welcome, ma'am. Ma'am, now the session is yours.
धन्यवाद। नमस्कार। आजादी का 75वां वर्ष, गौरव, गर्व, उत्साह व अतिहर्ष, इन्हीं भावनाओं को लिए प्रत्येक भारतीय इस अमृत महोत्सव को, आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव को मना रहा है।
Sorry for interruption, ma'am. I am sorry. Due to the time constraint, I request everyone who is present in the panelists to make it a simple one. Within the 40 minutes, please end the session. Okay, ma'am? Due to the time constraint, please. Sorry. Okay, continue, ma'am. Thank you.
इंकड्यू राष्ट्रीय साहित्य उत्सव में एक दीप प्रज्वलित हो रहा है जो इस आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव को और उज्जवल बना रहा है। मैं हूं डॉक्टर कविता सिंह प्रभा और मैं स्वागत कर रही हूं हमारे मंच पर उपस्थित सभी सम्माननीय अतिथि कवि व कवियत्रियों का। भारत के अनेक राज्यों से या कहूं विश्व से सभी कवि हमारे इस अमृत महोत्सव में योगदान कर रहे हैं। तो यही है आज की कविताओं का प्रभाव कि कविताएं जब हम पढ़ते हैं तो भाषा कोई हमें बांध नहीं सकती। कोई भाषा हम उस भाषा को जानते हो या ना जानते हो, हम बंध नहीं पाते और उस कवि का प्रभाव हम पर कोई ना कोई असर छोड़ता है। तो आज के इस सत्र का विषय है मेरी कविताएं। कहा जाता है कि कवि के बिना कोई समाज नहीं होता और कविता के बिना ज्ञान पूरा नहीं होता। तो चलिए आज हम इन्हीं महान हस्तियों से उनकी रचनाओं के विषय में जानते हैं। और सबसे पहले मैं आमंत्रित करूंगी उर्मिला आचार्य जी को। इनके बारे में परिचय देना सूर्य को दीपक दिखाना है, लेकिन फिर भी ये मेरा कर्तव्य है कि मैं इनके विषय में आपको बताऊं। इनकी अनेक कविता व कहानी की पुस्तकें प्रकाशित हो चुकी हैं। शिक्षा साक्षरता के लिए राष्ट्रपति पुरस्कार से सम्मानित किया गया है। नारी शक्ति के लिए छत्तीसगढ़ सरकार से इन्हें सम्मान प्राप्त हुआ है। सामाजिक कार्यकर्ता तो हैं ही, साथ में ये पर्यावरण के संरक्षण के लिए भी बहुत काम कर रही हैं। आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है उर्मिला जी। और हाँ, क्योंकि कविता हमारा जो विषय है चर्चा का वो है मेरी कविताएं, तो मैं चाहूंगी, आप भी चाहेंगे कि आप पहले इनकी एक कविता सुने, तभी तो हम उनकी कविता पर चर्चा कर सकेंगे। तो आप अपनी कोई भी प्रसिद्ध कविता या अपनी मनपसंद कविता हमारे श्रोताओं को सुनाइए।
धन्यवाद कविता। नमन इस दामन जोड़ी को और संवेदनशील महामानव को। मैं पढ़ती हूँ बिना भूमिका के एक कविता। उजली धूप एक कविता है, शीर्षक उसको मैं पढ़ रही हूँ आपके सामने। ये कविता दरअसल आज के संदर्भ में बहुत मायने रखती है, इसलिए मैंने इसका चयन किया है। मैं नहीं चाहती समरसता का पाठ पढ़ने वाले मेरे बच्चे सियासत के घोड़े की सवारी करें। मैं नहीं चाहती समरसता का पाठ पढ़ने वाले मेरे बच्चे सियासत के घोड़े की सवारी करें। टूटी नाल बेकाबू भीड़ में ईदगाह के हामिद का चिमटा खो जाए। मैं नहीं चाहती
बहुत सुंदर।
कि टूटी नाल बेकाबू भीड़ में ईदगाह के हामिद का चिमटा खो जाए। कश्मीरी पंडित बेघर हो, मैं नहीं चाहती। कश्मीरी पंडित बेघर न हो, मैं नहीं चाहती। नहीं चाहती गोकशी का कांड कालिख बने। मैं नहीं चाहती गोकशी का कांड माथे की कालिख बने। बांध सको तो बांधो अश्वमेघ का घोड़ा भागीरथी प्रयास के लिए। बांध सको तो बांधो अश्वमेघ का घोड़ा भागीरथी प्रयास के लिए। गंगा यमुना संस्कृति के लिए, गंगा यमुना संस्कृति के लिए। मैं नहीं चाहती हरा गेरुआ रंग का भय। मैं नहीं चाहती हरा गेरुआ रंग का भय। मैं नहीं चाहती खबरें अदला बदली वाद विवाद जज्बात। ख्याल रखना डंक मारते बिच्छू कभी क्षमा नहीं मांगते। ख्याल रखना डंक मारते बिच्छू कभी क्षमा नहीं मांगते। खाली कोठार दंगों से नहीं भरती, भूख कभी नहीं मरती। पर मैं क्षमा चाहती हूँ मेरे बच्चे, पर मैं क्षमा चाहती हूँ मेरे बच्चे इस संदिग्ध समय के लिए कि सियासती घोड़े बेकाबू हैं। मैं क्षमा चाहती हूँ मेरे बच्चे कि सियासती घोड़े बेकाबू हैं। फिर भी खुली रखना अपने पड़ोस की खिड़की उम्मीदों वाली। फिर भी खुली रखना अपने पड़ोस की खिड़की उम्मीदों वाली, जहां से 7 रंगों वाली धूप अभी भी आ रही है, अभी भी आ रही है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
बहुत सुंदर, बहुत
धन्यवाद
अति
आपका।
सुंदर। तालियां थोड़ी कम रही मुझे लगता है। कविता
बहुत आभार, बहुत धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। बहुत सुंदर कविता उर्मिला जी। ये कहा जाता है कि कवि किसी भी समाज की सोच बदल सकता है।
जी,
जैसा कि कहा कि कवि के बिना कोई समाज ही नहीं हो सकता और
जी,
कविता के
जी।
बिना ज्ञान पूरा नहीं होता। तो क्या आपका भी यही मानना है कि कवि किसी समाज की सोच को बदल सकता है?
कविता जी, आपका ये प्रश्न बहुत ही अच्छा है। चूंकि मैं राइटर ही नहीं, एक शिक्षक और शिक्षाविद भी हूँ। मैंने बहुत से बच्चों के साथ क्लास में बातें की 42 साल। तो बच्चों की संवेदना को यदि एक दिशा दिखाना है तो कविता बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होती है।
बहुत से
और बच्चे भविष्य के नागरिक होते हैं। वो जानते हैं कि किस दिशा में हमको सोचना है और कहाँ हमको चलना है। तभी तो इस समरसता वाली कविता मेरे हायर सेकेंडरी के क्लास में कभी यूं ही निकल आया था, क्योंकि मेरे बच्चे भी मेरे साथ साथ संवेदनशील हो गए थे। तो हमने मिलकर एक कविता बनाया। तो कविता दिशा बदल देती है।
बहुत बहुत सही कहा आपने।
धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। कविवर ऐसी कविता गढ़ना, कविवर ऐसी कविता गढ़ना सत्य प्रचारित हो जाए। कविवर ऐसी कविता गढ़ना सत्य प्रचारित हो जाए। मौन रहे ना यह समाज, मौन रहे ना यह समाज, जन चेतना जागृत हो जाए। तो यही आपने बिल्कुल सार्थक किया अपनी कविता के द्वारा। तो हम आगे बढ़ते हैं। हमारे साथ हैं नाहिद अख्तर जी। आप अंग्रेजी, उर्दू, हिंदी तीनों भाषाओं में कविताएं लिखती हैं। हैदराबाद में जाह्नवी डिग्री कॉलेज की इंग्लिश लेक्चरर हैं। इनकी 3 इंग्लिश पोएम्स का काव्य संग्रह प्रकाशित हो चुका है, जिनके नाम हैं फैंटजम्स ऑफ माय हार्ट, द अर्थ्स लव, द मॉर्फिन, और इनको इंटरनेशनल अवार्ड भी मिले हैं। और स्वागत करते हैं नाहिद जी आपका। और आप अपनी कौन सी रचना किस भाषा में सुनाना चाहेंगे?
थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी। मैं उर्दू ज़बान में बोलना चाहूँगी क्योंकि ये मल्टीलिंगुअल प्रोग्राम है। सब ने कोई ना कोई एक लैंग्वेज में बोला ही है, तो मैं उर्दू में एक छोटी सी मेरी नज़्म है, मैं नज़्म बोलना चाहूँगी।
स्वागत है
थैंक
आपका।
यू। ये नज़्म मैंने एक्सक्लूसिव मेरे अपने पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस पर ही मैंने लिखा है। कई बारी क्या होता है कि हम कोई माहौल में सेट नहीं हो पाते। मैं ऐसे बैकग्राउंड से आती हूँ जो यानी कि मतलब लड़कियों को बहुत ही मतलब प्रोटेक्ट करके रखा जाता है, बहुत ही प्रिजर्व करके रखा जाता है। तो ये चीज़ मतलब बहुत ही मतलब मेरे अंदर हावी हुआ करती थी। आई यूज्ड टू बी अ वेरी शाई पर्सन, इवन आई गेस। तो ये एक मैंने अपनी सादगी पर नज़्म लिखी है, जो सादगी मेरे अंदर थी और जिस तरह मैं लोगों में सेट नहीं हो पाती थी, उस पर मैंने लिखी है।
बहुत खूब।
न ज़मीं न आसमां इसका उन्वान है ये नज़्म का। वो इस तरह है। सादगी, सुबह की शफ़ाफ ताजगी सी, झिलमिलाती शाम की नरमी सी, सादगी खुद सादगी सी, लगी बिलखने जब दरमिया बेहिस जमाने की, समाई इसने जान अपनी सितारों में, कहकर अलविदा हर रब्त को, किया था जिसने हताश सा, फिर हुआ यूं के लगा जमाना तपने ये कहते, तुम तो कोई और हो, तुम जहां बसती हो, बस इसीलिए लगती पराई सी हो। शुक्रिया बहुत।
वाह, बहुत खूब, बहुत खूब।
थैंक यू सो मच।
छोटी सी नज़्म लेकिन बहुत बड़ी बात कह गई।
जी।
तो यही मैं पूछना चाहूँगी कि अ, कवि हो या कवित्री हो, क्या कवित्रियों को कोई बंधन उन्हें रोकता है उनकी आवाज़ को बाहर आने से? समाज में आपने जैसे कहा कि आपने ऐसा अनुभव किया,
जी।
तो क्या कहना चाहेंगी आप नई पीढ़ी के कवि और कवित्रियों को कि किस तरह से वे अपनी कविताओं को सामने रखें, अपनी बात को, अपनी भावनाओं को सामने रखें?
जो कोई भी माहौल में हमारी परवरिश होती है, वो टोटल हमारे ऊपर ही डिपेंड होता है कि हम उससे कैसे बाहर निकलें, किस तरह उभर कर आएं। जब तक हम खुद से नहीं चाहते उस चीज़ से उभरने के लिए, दूसरी कोई ताकत हमारी हमारी मदद नहीं कर पाती। हमको हमारी मदद करनी होती है। जब तक हम हमारी मदद नहीं करेंगे, दूसरा कोई हमारे साथ खड़ा नहीं हो सकता, चाहे वो कोई भी रिश्ता हो, कोई भी रिश्ता हो। तो मैं मानती हूँ कि मैंने की कोशिश उभरने की उस माहौल से। और फिर जब मैंने कोशिश की, मेरे साथ सारे थे, सब ने मेरा साथ दिया, सब ने मेरी मदद की। तो फिर जब आप अपनी मदद करते हैं तो फिर सारी कायनात आपके साथ जुड़ जाती है। तो खुद की मदद खुद को करनी चाहिए पहले, दूसरे से मदद मांगने से पहले, मैं ऐसा मानती हूँ।
तो आपने कह सकते हैं कि आपका जो कवित्व था, जो आपके अंदर हृदय में आपके जो कवित्व था, उसने आपको प्रेरणा दी और आपने अपना रास्ता खोजा। तो यही है ताकत, हिम्मत कवि में, वह कुछ भी कर सकता है, कुछ भी। तो आगे बढ़ते हैं। विलियम वर्ड्सवर्थ के अनुसार काव्य सभी ज्ञान का आदि और अंत है। इसका यह उतना ही अमर है जितना कि मानव का हृदय। तो कवि का और उसकी कविताओं का सीधे उसके हृदय से संबंध होता है। तो हम आगे बढ़ेंगे और स्वागत करते हैं मिलोजा बसु मोतारी जी का, जो असम भारत से हैं। ये वकील हैं और बोडो भाषा में लिखती हैं, साथ ही असमिया, हिंदी, अंग्रेजी भाषा में भी इनकी रचनाएं छप चुकी हैं। इनके नॉवल का नाम है दाऊ हारो लांग लारम, जो असम भाषा में है और एक बोडो कहानी है। मैंने सही नाम लिया?
हाँ, हाँ।
जी। तो आपका स्वागत है और हम आपकी एक रचना सुनना चाहेंगे।
धन्यवाद। नमस्ते दमनजोरी। मैं अपनी कविता जिसका टाइटल है हिसान, बोडो लैंग्वेज में पढ़ूंगी। हिसान माने लूम, इसका मतलब है लूम। हिंदी में बोले जाए तो करघा। ये मैंने एक लुप्त हो चुके हुए परंपरा के बारे में लिखा है। एक जमाना था जब हमारे गांव में, समाज में घर घर में ये करघा देखने को मिलते थे। लेकिन अभी ये परंपरा, ये ट्रेडिशन टोटली लुप्त हो चुके हैं। तो इस टॉपिक को लेके मैंने ये कविता लिखे थे, तो मैं पढ़ के सुनाना चाहूंगी आप सभी को। हिसान। गोजा गोमो गोथाङाव सिमां सुजुनाया, हरसेयावनो आर'नाइ दाखांनाया, माथो सल'सो जाबाय। आगर गुबै दुमब्रु थफा गिसिब आगर नोंनि हिसानाव बेसेबा समायोमोन। नेखा नायालासैनो हाजो आगरा नोंनि गोसोआव रोखा रोखामोन। गान्दै सामफेरखौ बहा खोमाखो समबारि, नोंनि माखुनि रावखौनो माथो खोनाथारला। बिबारि आरो आलायस्रि नोंसोरो माथो खुन्दुंखौनो नाथायथारला। दानि गथ'फोरा गनखा रासो गरखा सिनायला। दखना थावसि गामसा जोमग्रा न'आवनो नोमाया दायोमोन बुंबा फोथायला। हिसाननि जायख्लं सुरजिनाया नोंनि गोग्गाखानायमोन। रंगिना संगिना दखना फास्रा दाखानायाथ' नोंनि धोरोममोन। गोदान मुगानि दाहाराव बयबो गोरोबलांबाय। बेसेन गोसानि दखना गाननानै नोङो रंजाबायबाय। मुस्रानो खिलिबारिनि सोर जोथोन लाखिबावगोन। दानि मुगानि सुबुंनो हिसाननि सिनायथिखौ सोर होगोन। हाँ, धन्यवाद।
बहुत सुंदर, बहुत सुंदर। आप मुझे एक आपसे यह पूछना था, जब आपने अपनी पहली कविता लिखी, यस या प्लीज टेल समथिंग। ओके, ठीक ठीक। आप थोड़ा ट्रांसलेशन कर पाएंगे इंग्लिश में? हाँ, उसका थोड़ा सा सेंस कि उसमें आपने क्या बताया। हाँ जी, कि आपने इस कविता में किस विषय पर ये कविता लिखी और उसमें क्या है, उसका सार क्या है। उन्होंने बोला था स्टार्टिंग में करघा के ऊपर है, लूम के ऊपर है। हाँ,
लुप्त हो चुके परंपरा है हमारे समाज में। तो मैंने वही सोच के दुख प्रकट किए हुए मैंने ये कविता लिखे थे कि ये ट्रेडिशन अभी हम लोग के समाज में, गांव में दिखाई नहीं देता था। हाँ। पुराने जमाने में ये होते थे कि घर घर में या हर लड़कियां ये जानते थे कपड़े बनाना। हाँ,
कढ़ाई करना। कपड़ा खुद बुनते थे घर घर में।
लेकिन
अब ये नहीं रहा है कि मशीनें आ गई हैं।
हाँ, ये
तो
परंपरा
उस विषय पर ये दुख प्रकट कर रही थी कि ऐसा क्यों हुआ। जी
हाँ, धन्यवाद।
तो जब आपने ये कविता लिखी थी, तो आपने जब सुनाई पहली बार किसी को, तो क्या प्रभाव पड़ा? आपको लगा कि आपके साथ लोग आए, जुड़े और उन पर इस कविता का असर हुआ?
हाँ, मंच में जितने भी लोग उधर जब मैंने ये पहले सुनाया, वो लोग प्रभावित थे। वे लोग सहमत भी थे मेरी। हाँ, ये सही टॉपिक चुना आपने। ये परंपरा के बारे में, ये एक डाइंग कल्चर के बारे में जो आपने सुनाया, बहुत अच्छा लगा।
आप सोचते हैं कि अगर इस तरह की कविताएं और रची जाएं, जिससे कि हमारे जो कामगार हैं, जो हाथ का काम करते हैं, जो लूम्स पर काम करते हैं, करघा पर करते हैं, हमें इस बारे में हम और कवियों को भी आगे आना चाहिए और इस विषय पर लिखना चाहिए।
हाँ जी,
ताकि कहीं ना कहीं हम इस परंपरा को आगे बढ़ा सकें।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी,
जी, बहुत खूब। तो कवि किसी भी क्षेत्र में सोच सकता है और किसी भी क्षेत्र में बदलाव ला सकता है। तो कविता, हजारी प्रसाद द्विवेदी जी ने कहा था कि कविता मानवता की उच्चतम अनुभूति की अभिव्यक्ति है। तो आप अपनी कविताओं के द्वारा सिर्फ शिक्षा ही नहीं, हमारे जो पिछड़े हुए कामगार हैं जिनके बारे में कोई नहीं सोचता, लेकिन कवि सबकी ओर ध्यान दिला सकता है। तो जिस प्रयास, जैसा इन्होंने प्रयास किया, शायद मुझे लगता है आज इनकी कविता से प्रेरित होकर हम भी कुछ ऐसा लिखेंगे कि लोग उसे उससे उत्साहित हों और उस दिशा में सोचें। तो कविता सोच बदल सकती है किसी की भी। आगे बढ़ते हैं हम, हमारे साथ हैं सविता साहू जी, आपका स्वागत है। आप ब्लॉगर हैं और इंग्लिश और उड़िया भाषा में लिखती हैं। इनके 4 काव्य संग्रह प्रकाशित हो चुके हैं, 3 इंग्लिश में और 1 उड़िया भाषा में। उनके नाम कुछ इस प्रकार से हैं: मूड्स ऑफ अ प्रिंसेस, अनसंग मेलोडीज, मोनोडीज, और उड़िया का काव्य संग्रह है कहीं से अलौसी कन्या। आपका स्वागत है और सभी बेचैन हैं आपकी एक रचना सुनने के लिए।
धन्यवाद। समस्त को मोर नमस्कार। जय जगन्नाथ।
जय जगन्नाथ।
मोर कवितार शीर्षक है, मु इंग्राजी कविता पढ़िया पे जाऊँची। तो द टाइटल ऑफ माय पोएम इज आई एम द फर्स्ट बॉर्न। द स्काई इज माइन, लैंड एंड सी, stars and planets, all are mine. Don't divide the elemental universe into genders. I am woman. I give birth to man. Nurse him, bring him up. I teach him the first letter, Ma, mother. How can my progeny, my children, divide the world? Man is my creation. I am Aditi, next to none. I will break all shackles and move freely, lavishing my love on everything, on everyone that breathes or is still. I now drive, navigate, fly, swim, and set new benchmarks. The world is open for me as it is for you. Let not our freedoms clash. Amity is beyond freedom. I extend my arms to embrace all nuances of life. Join me if you wish and respect me, for I deserve, as I am the firstborn. I deserve as I am the firstborn. Thank you very much.
बहुत सुंदर, बहुत सुंदर। सविता जी, मेरा प्रश्न आपसे यह रहेगा कि कवि एक सिर्फ कविताओं द्वारा मनोरंजन नहीं करता या एक संदेश ही नहीं देता, साथ में एक शैक्षिक भूमिका भी निभाता है। उसकी कविताएं कहीं ना कोई संदेश देकर जाती हैं जो कि शिक्षा से भी जुड़ा हुआ है। हम सभी बातें किताबों से शायद ना सीख पाएं, लेकिन एक कवि जब कविता पढ़ता है तो वो भाव हमें ज़्यादा समझ आते हैं, यानी लेख से ज़्यादा कविता प्रभाव छोड़ती है। आई थिंक ये सब मानेंगे कि लेख को पढ़ने के बाद शायद इतना प्रभाव ना पड़े जितनी एक छोटी सी कविता जब मंच पर पढ़ी जाए तो उसका प्रभाव होता है। तो आप क्या कहते हैं कि शैक्षिक भूमिका आपने निभाई है, इतनी सारी कविताएं लिखी हैं, आपने बहुत सारे बच्चों को या नई पीढ़ी के कवि कवित्रियों को प्रभावित किया होगा?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, आपने जो प्रश्न किया बिल्कुल सही है। शिक्षा का महत्व बहुत रहता है, क्योंकि शिक्षा आपको ज्ञान देता है, और ज्ञान का मतलब बुकिश नॉलेज नहीं, बहुत सारी चीजों का। स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम योर होम, you learn from your mother how to behave, how to talk, but at times we forget things. And धीरे धीरे क्या होता है, वही चीजें अगर आप ठान लो कि यही सही है, यही मुझे आगे बढ़ाना है, and we respect our parents, अगर यही आपको through your poems आप बढ़ाते हो रिलेशंस, कि ह्यूमन रिलेशंस कैसे गढ़ता है, मैं तो मानती हूँ ये मेरे लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है। क्योंकि मैंने टाइम मैनेजमेंट सीखा, कविता लिखा, मैंने टाइम मैनेजमेंट सीखा, घर में कैसे बड़ों को रिस्पेक्ट दिया जाता है, खुद सीखा और बच्चों को भी सिखाया, मेरे बच्चों को एंड माय स्टूडेंट्स इवन, उन्हें भी ये सिखाया कि परंपरा आप कैसे बढ़ा सकते हो। आपका घर से शुरू होके देश तक ये कविता आपको एक जोड़ में बांधे रखता है। मेरा मानना यही है, शिक्षा का बहुत बड़ा महत्व है इसमें।
बहुत
धन्यवाद।
सही, बहुत सही। तो भावना, संवेदनशीलता और कल्पना, ये तीनों की शक्ति मिलती है तब कहीं एक कविता गढ़ी जाती है। तो हमारे साथ उपस्थित हैं आदरणीय अनंतधीश अमन जी, जो आपका स्वागत है, जो पत्रकारिता क्षेत्र में कार्यरत हैं और अनेक पत्र पत्रिकाओं में उनके लेख प्रकाशित हो चुके हैं और इनका साहित्यिक सफर अभी भी आगे बढ़ रहा है। इन्होंने 9 ई पुस्तकें प्रकाशित की हैं, जिनमें मुख्य हैं लाइफ इज मैथमेटिक्स, शरद अमावस तक की यात्रा, डाकिया अब डाक नहीं लाता। बहुत खूब, क्या विषय है। तो मैं आपसे सबसे पहले तो आपकी एक कविता सुनना चाहूंगी। मैं क्या, सभी श्रोता सुनना चाहेंगे।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कविता प्रभा जी। और मातृशक्ति के बीच में हम बैठे हुए हैं, उर्मिला आचार्य जी हैं और सभी जो हमारे साथ में बैठे हुए हैं, मातृशक्ति को सभी को मेरा नमन है। और सामने पूरे देश से, कोने कोने से सब और विदेशों से भी कुछ लोग आए हुए हैं, सभी को मेरा प्रणाम है। कविता एक छोटा सा कविता का बंद है। नए विचार दो, नए विचार की आग दो, नए विचार दो, नए विचार की आग दो, भस्म हो जाए जहां मजबूरियां, वो ज्ञान वो प्रकाश दो। न रूढ़ियां न बेरियां न पुस्तकें प्रलाप हो, हर हाथ में नव चेतन औजार, हर हाथ में नव चेतन
बहुत
औजार।
खूब, बहुत खूब।
और 1 मिनट में चाहूंगा कि आजादी का अमृत का महोत्सव चल रहा है और आज राम प्रसाद बिस्मिल जी का जन्मदिन भी है। तो हमें लगता है कि उनको याद करते हुए एक कविता मैं आप लोग के बीच में रखता हूँ।
बिल्कुल, स्वागत।
हम में तुम में, हम में तुम में और सब में, हम में तुम में और सब में, जो राग है वो पहले खाक हो, जो राग है वो पहले खाक हो, बात इनकलाब की है जर्रा जर्रा आग हो, बात इनकलाब की है जर्रा जर्रा आग हो। मर मिटने की हसरत नहीं, मर मिटने की हसरत नहीं, तो या माजरा खत्म हो, घर कर गुजरने का कुछ इरादा है, तो फिर कोई बात हो, तो फिर कोई बात हो। पुतलों के आगे, राजनीतिक आज के टाइम में पुतलों के आगे माला पहना देना नहीं रहा, अब सिर्फ माला पहनाने भर का काम है। उसके लिए उनके विचारों को फॉलो करते हुए मैंने इस पंक्ति को आगे लिखा था। पुतलों के आगे सर झुकाना ढोंग है, पुतलों के आगे सर झुकाना ढोंग है, तो यह सब बंद हो, विचार का कोई चिंगारी हो तो फिर हवा की कोई बात हो, विचार की कोई चिंगारी हो तो फिर हवा की कोई बात हो। देखा है जमाना देखेगा जमाना, देखा है जमाना और देखेगा जमाना, इनकलाब की धार को मर मिटने की चाहत पहले जिंदाबाद हो, मर मिटने की चाहत पहले जिंदाबाद हो। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
बहुत सुंदर, बहुत सुंदर। तो मेरा प्रश्न आपसे यही रहेगा, क्योंकि आप पत्रकारिता के क्षेत्र में भी कार्य कर रहे हैं और
क्षमा चाहूंगा, पत्रकारिता मैंने छोड़ चुका हूँ 2019 से 16 से।
अच्छा,
हाँ,
लेकिन
अभी मैं राजनीति में हूँ।
राजनीति में है। तो आप बताएंगे कि आपकी कविताओं का प्रभाव था ये कि आप राजनीति में आ गए, या राजनीति का प्रभाव अब आपकी कविताओं में आ गया है?
दिनकर को पढ़ते पढ़ते ख्याल आ गया कि जब राजनीति डगमगाता है तो साहित्य उसको संभालता है, बस उसी भाव से मैं निकल पड़ा।
तो आपकी जो कविताएं रही हैं, जो आपने लिखी हैं, उसका सार क्या है? मतलब उसके पीछे का भाव क्या है? किस बात ने, किस भावना ने आपको प्रभावित किया कि आप कविता लिखने लगे?
इसका एक इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी है। शहीद भगत सिंह, सुखदेव और राजगुरु बम फेंके थे असेंबली में, यही आज पार्लियामेंट है जो, वहीं बम फेंके थे। शुरू से क्रांतिकारी विचारों से मेरा प्रभाव रहता था, बचपन में पढ़ते रहता था, सुभाष चंद्र बोस का जीवनी और बहुत सारे क्रांतिकारियों को पढ़ने का मौका मिलता था। तो मुझे लगा कि जब देश आजाद हो गया तब बम फेंकने की जरूरत नहीं है, वहां पत्रिका जाने की जरूरत है।
बहुत बहुत सही।
और वहीं से मैंने अखंड भारत स्वप्न यथार्थ तक का पत्रिका का यात्रा अरविंद भाई के साथ में स्टार्ट किया। और अरविंद भाई मुख्य संपादक थे और मैं सहयोगी के रूप में उनके साथ में कदम से कदम मिला के चलता चला गया। और सुभाष कश्यप जी का सहयोग मिला, काफी सारे लोगों का सहयोग मिला और पत्रिका का लोकार्पण उसी सेंट्रल हॉल में हुआ जहां कभी बम फेंके थे गुलामी के टाइम में हमारे सुभाष चंद्र शहीद भगत सिंह और सुखदेव और राजगुरु ने। तो ये सारे विचार को लेकर के ही मेरे कविताओं में उबाल आया। और आज आपको एक और बात बताना चाहता हूँ। गया जी बिहार में, पूरे बिहार में सबसे बड़ा रक्तदान के क्षेत्र में मैं काम कर रहा हूँ। हमारा संगठन काम कर रहा है, शहीद भगत सिंह यूथ ब्रिगेड। तो मैंने इस सिलसिला को अभी जारी रखा है और शायद उसका अंजाम क्या होगा वो
तो आप जब राजनीति में आ गए हैं तो आपको कविता तो नहीं छोड़ देंगे ना?
नहीं, कविता तो नहीं छूटेगी।
हाँ, और मैं चाहूंगी कि अब जब आपको एक माध्यम मिला है, एक ऐसा मंच मिला है राजनीति का, कि आप जो उभर रहे कलाकार हैं, जो कवि हैं, कवित्री, उनके लिए कोई योजना बनाएंगे और उसको अग्रसर करेंगे?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। उसके लिए आपको पता होना चाहिए कि पुस्तक मेला में गया में लगता है और उसमें मैं पूर्ण रूप से सहयोग करता हूँ। झारखंड के साहित्य हिंदी महापरिषद के अध्यक्ष हैं। यदि कोई झारखंड से होंगे तो जानते होंगे निरंकुश श्रीवास्तव जी को, वो झारखंड साहित्य महापरिषद के अध्यक्ष है। बेंगलोर से भी कोई आए होंगे तो वहां भी जानते होंगे रास। ये सारे लोगों का एक टीम है हमारा। विधि भारती परिषद से संतोष खन्ना जी हैं दिल्ली से, उन लोगों के साथ में सहयोग करके मैं काफी सारे साहित्य गतिविधियों को भी आगे बढ़ाते रहता हूँ। और कला के, क्योंकि मैं एक बात मानता हूं कि आर्ट इज टू डू एंड साइंस इज टू नो। तो जो भी कुछ कर रहा है उसको बढ़ाने का, कला के क्षेत्र में उसको बढ़ाना जरूरी है, क्योंकि उससे समाज कुछ ना कुछ सीखता है।
ओके। हेलो, हेलो।
आज की परिप्रेक्षी में बांग्लादेश की जो लिटरेचर का माहौल है उसका दशा और दिशा क्या है जानना चाहता हूँ।
ओके, तो यहाँ पर कई कवि और कवित्री बांग्लादेश से हैं, तो क्या वे इसका उत्तर देना चाहेंगे? उन्होंने पूछा है कि बांग्लादेश के एक्चुअली हाँ, ये नाहिद जी जो हैं, ये नाहिद जी हैदराबाद से हैं, बांग्लादेश से नहीं है। नाहिदा जी आ नहीं पाई हैं, पर यहाँ पर बहुत सारे कवि कवित्री हैं जो बांग्लादेश से हैं। प्लीज आपके प्रश्न का उत्तर जरूर मिलेगा जी। हाँ हाँ हाँ,
मानस भाई,
बिल्कुल, हम भी सुनना चाहेंगे।
Yeah, that's interesting. Better
Please come on the stage.
I turn in this way. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Please.
Okay.
From here. Okay. Myself, Mustafa Ahmed Murshid. I'm here along with few other poets. We are from Bangladesh. Okay. The question, you have heard it. In Bangladesh, the map of the literature, it has got a big change. Means, after independence, pre-independence, that is after having Bangladesh, when we were under the Pakistan rulers, it was, it was a different play. We wanted to have our land. We wanted to have our independence. We wanted to have our flag. So the whole literature, it was encompassing on that theme. But after independence, it got a turn. And soon after independence, we lost our father of the nation through a tragic event. Then the society was under military rulers and the so-called quote-unquote mullahs or fundamentalists. They started gaining social strength. Then the force of secularist force or progressive force, the writers basically belongs to this force. Then we have started our own movement, own motivational, making a different path. This is a turn, and still we are fighting so that our we do have different paintings, different colors. I mean, paintings and colors. I mean, the literature painting and colors. This is very progressive, very metaphoric. We have different. I mean, our this generation of uh, these time, they have started drawing different structures. Taking more symbols, the metaphorical plays very different, and our mature poets, they are putting more philosophy into the section of poetry. And on the avenue of short stories, it is another play. In the avenue of theater, in the avenue of novel, everything, it's having very new dimension. Rather, I love to welcome you all to know Bangladesh more through our literature background and the map. Thank you so much. Take
बहुत
care.
Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू सर। अद्भुत भावपूर्ण कविताओं का संकलन हुआ। आज यह मंच कविवर आपकी वाणी से धन्य हुआ। मंच पर उपस्थित अतिथि कविगण व समस्त श्रोताओं को हृदय से आभार प्रकट करती हूँ। इस सत्र को संपूर्ण व सफल बनाने के लिए धन्यवाद। और अंत में यही कहना चाहूंगी कि आप किसी भी भाषा में लिखते हो, किसी भी क्षेत्र से आप संबंधित हो, लेकिन आप अपनी कविताओं को जनमानस तक पहुंचाइए। उन्हें किसी भी माध्यम से, चाहे तो पत्र से, अखबार से, ई प्लेटफॉर्म से, किसी भी तरीके से आप पहुंचाइए, क्योंकि आपकी एक कविता शायद एक हृदय को बदल दे। और यदि किसी कवि की एक कविता एक हृदय को बदल पाए तो समझ लीजिए उस कवि का जन्म ही धन्य हो गया। तो मेरा यही मानना है, लिखते रहिए, सुनाते रहिए, गाते रहिए, छपवाते रहिए। आप ही समाज को बदल सकते हैं, आपकी सोच समाज को बदल सकती है। और इंकड्यू नेशनल लिट फेस्ट को में शामिल होने के लिए, इसको सफल बनाने के लिए मैं आपका धन्यवाद करती हूँ। अभिवादन स्वीकार कीजिए। फिर मिलेंगे अगले लिट फेस्ट में। धन्यवाद, नमस्कार।
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. It was really wonderful sessions, and we learned a lot of things from all of your discussion. Now I will request Ms. Adyasha Sahu to present the token of appreciation to Dr. Kavita Singh Prabha, Delhi. Next, Miloja Basumatai, Assam, India. Urmila Acharya, Chhattisgarh, India. Anandis Aman, Bihar, India. Mad- okay. Nadiha Natwaji. Okay. Nahida, sorry ma'am, it was not in the list, so I could not remember. I am extremely sorry for that, ma'am. Okay. Next, Savita Sahu. Then Urmila Acharya. Okay. It was really a wonderful session by the powerful women of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, please have a big round of applause for our wonderful, powerful, and the epitome of success women writer of all over the countries. Yes, ma'am. Literature knows no border, one world, one family. We are defined not by our borders, by our bonds, said by Obama. So our next session on this topic, so I welcome our eminent writers to on the stage, Dr. Bhisma Operati, Nepal. Please, sir, welcome on the stage. Sivadas Swami Matam, UAE. Asad Manan, Bangladesh. Mujtaba Ahmad Marsad, Bangladesh. Mostaq Ahmad, India. Gautam Guharwe, India. I welcome again Dr. Bhisma Operati, Nepal. Sivadas Swami Matam, UAE. Asad Manan, Bangladesh. Mujtaba Ahmad Marsad, Bangladesh. Mostaq Ahmad, India. Gautam Guhari, India. Okay. Now I request Dr. Bhisma Opreti from Nepal to moderate the session. Sir, the session is now yours. Yeah, Mike.
Namaskar. So I think all the audience, including ourselves, are getting tired because it's a long day, but still we have to go. So without further delay, I would like to start the session. The topic, literature knows no border, one world, one family, is interesting. Uh, Before to proceed the main topic, I would like to give a very brief introduction to all the panelists from, I think, from here, sir. Very briefly, your introduction, because see, I just have announced the name, but I want maybe 2-3 sentences.
I am Gautam Guhurai, come from northern part of Bengal, North Bengal.
I'm Mustaq Ahmed from Kolkata. I am an assistant professor at Presidency University, assistant professor of Bengali literature. I write poetry, essays, etc. Thank you.
I'm Mustafa Ahmed Murshid from Bangladesh, Dhaka. I write poetry, I write fictions, play, lyrics, some of juvenile work. I work for BIMSEC Secretary. I was advisor there, and in these days, I'm advisor editor to our national daily, Bangla, Vorer Kagoj. And well, that's it for the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I am Asad Mannan from Bangladesh. Basically, I am a poet. I write only poem, and only poem. And then, as a professional, I was a civil servant. I was a secretary to the government of Bangladesh. And before that, I was Director General of Bangladesh Television and Divisional Commissioner. That is a highest post of the civil service of administrative civil service. After that, after my retirement, Honorable President appointed me as a member of the Public Service Commission of Bangladesh. It's a constitutional post, and that's all me. Thank you all.
Thank you. My name is Shivadas. My native place is Kerala. I am working in Dubai. Actually, I am the active writer in a lot of poetry group.
So thank you. We are here in the panel from 3 different countries. In a way, we have crossed the border and come together here to discuss on the topic. But sometimes I think the topic here seems that it is more related to the political border or geographical border. So is there only a political or geographical border in front of writers, poets, or is there any other borders, just like gender, cultural, socio-economic barriers? Are these also a border or not? So this is the the query that I want to raise here today. I will ask the questions first to the panelists, and then I will come to the floor as well. So first of all, Mustafa, bhai, what is border for you? So what is the meaning of border for you?
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, we both convey love from my country, our country, Bangladesh, to you all. We are very happy to participate here on the 75th independence of India, that all of us are celebrating here, Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav. And this is what the one single theme brought us down here. So if there were border of social barrier, mental barrier, creative barrier, political barrier, we wouldn't be able to come here. When heart starts singing, it never sees any barrier. We are here with the call of love. We are not here with any call of any elements which is having conflicts to kill each other. Every poet is refusing or turning down war, conflict, killing people in the name of many things. So here is the victory of poetry. Here is the bright flag that we hoist and we move forward. So the single line, simple thing, we uphold humanity. We don't count any different colors. We do have only one color, the way we do have the color of our blood. We do have only one theme which can develop a broader map of the human thoughts. In front of us, there are a few, but I guess all of them are Moses, the messenger. Moses was messenger of the God. You are you Moses, you are messenger of the poetry, including ourselves sitting here. So this big family, having small numbers in this auditorium, still we uphold it once again. No border, no boundary. We are a great family, big family, a family with a full force, a family having the strength to develop creative things. And why are we here? Actually, we are here to make a big call to the new generation. They will move forward and we will follow them. We have a dream. Look, I worked in the BIMSTEC secretary. I was advisor there. BIMSTEC, as you know, 7-member national states. It's having 1.67 billion people. So we call BIMSTEC geography. Those who has no idea about BIMSTEC, let me utter the member state's name. Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Thailand. So my call, look, amidst a very hot situation in the world, it is very high time for us to really develop friendship among the neighbor states. And who would lead it? We, the mature generation, will be with the newer generation. It is the duty of the new generation to develop own country as well to help each other, vice versa, neighbor states. So helping neighboring state means we can develop the regional market. Regional, if we do have money, we can go for more creative works. It is helping. It's a vice versa force working together. So having this broader space, I just put a, I mean, narrowing down on the spotlight, under the spotlight once again, let's really have these heartbeats, no border, no boundaries, no limitations. We are a one family. It's a family of the poetry. Thank you very much for listening me.
Thank you, Mustafa, sir. So I would like to go to the Shivdas, sir. You born and raised in India, and you are living in Dubai. So what is border for you? Do you have any idea in your mind about border?
Sir, excellent example is my practical life relating to the poetry, because actually I'm an active writer in 60 group, scattering in the 5 continents. Active writer in 60 group, scattering in 5 continents, including the Africa, Australia, USA, Asia, like that. Therefore, still I never feel any border in the literature. Actually, when the universe is formed, there is no border. When the man comes in the civilization, the selfish humanity would actually build a border. When the border will build, that time the dispute also started. But actually, what most likely, the literature still never have any border. And also the modern applications, translation, the language translator, you can read any language, any literature in any language, actually in poetry, drama, everything, with the help of the translation app. Therefore, I feel that there is no border for any literature.
Mustaq, sir. Same question to you too.
Namaskar. When we read Wordsworth, Shelley, Keats, Byron, when we think about 1922, about Westland, when we read Dostoevsky, Albert Camus, Maxim Gorky, what is the border? Border is nowhere. In this world, when science wants to find the Ishwar Kona, the God particle, then we can make a family, only one family, one world, by social media, where we can use WhatsApp, Facebook, etc. Then where is the border? There is no border. I don't think so. If you give me 1 or 2 minutes, then I can express an experience.
Okay.
I went a rural place in West Bengal for poetry festival, and I read poetry there. After reading the poetry, one person came to me and told, I'm also farmer. I'm also farmer like you. I plow in the field, you by words. I was very surprised. One person who is understanding this poetry by his natural experience, by his natural academic wisdom. How is it possible? Basically, there is no border. That's important. There is no border of language, there is no border of feelings, there is no border of any situation. I wrote a poem when I came to Kolkata, my city. I wrote a poem like this. কবিতা পাঠের শেষে লোকটি হঠাৎ বলে গেল, তোমরা ভালো আছো ভাই, আমরাও চাষ করি মাঠে, তোমরা শব্দের। তারপর যতবার কলম নিয়ে বসে সাদা কাগজে ভেসে ওঠে তার মুখ, চেয়ে থাকে নির্বিকার। ওর মুখের উপর লিখতে আমার কলম বাঁধে। জানি শব্দ চাষের জমি ওদের চেয়েও উর্বর, অথচ শব্দের বীজ বুনেই আমরা খালাস। কার ঘরে উঠল ফসল তার কি দরকার? অনেকগুলো ভাঙা কলম ড্রয়ারে জমেছে, একটাও পাণ্ডুলিপি ছিঁড়িনি। শব্দের চাষ করি, বীজ নষ্ট করতে পারি এ হাতে? After the poetry reading, the bloke suddenly said, you have it to goods. Good, brothers. We still do in the fields. Few words. As I attempt to write again, his face floats in the whiteness of the faces, staring indifferently. My pen falters against writing on his face. I know the land where we till words is more fragile, but we merely plant the seeds of words. Do we care where the harvest goes? Broken leaves pile up in the drawer, but of course, I have not yet shredded a single manuscript. I plow words. How can these hands destroy seeds? How? I think I feel the wasteland. আমরা বাংলায় বলেছি খিল ভূমি. I think there is no border for literature. Thank you.
So, Gautam sir, the same questions, but I would like to add one point. So, when poet writes poetry about nationality or the subject of nationalism, is there any border at that time? Or poet, or just like in our topic, literature, no borders? Or if any border is created at that time, if you are writing about Indian nationality, if I am writing about Nepalese nationality, is anybody from Pakistan, they write from Pakistani nationality, is there any conflict, or that is just in our mind but not in literature? That doesn't come in literature. So, please.
Thank you. Can I speak in my mother language, Bengali? Because I want to say something which is not translate any other language. Because we are two from Bangladesh, and we are two from Bengal. Bangladesh and Bengal, 1947, divided one state, one language. Both are, four are Bengalis. But there is a Katatar, a Siman, the border, which divided us. So when I speak that language has no border, but my feelings, my pain, feel those border which divided us. And আমার যে বাবা, মানে আমার বাবার জন্ম সেই বাংলাদেশে, যে বাংলাদেশে উনি থাকেন, কিন্তু আমার জন্ম এই বাংলাদেশে। আমি ওই বাংলাদেশে যেতে পারি না। দুটো ভাষা, দুটো নেশন। আমি যখন আমার নিজের পিতৃভূমিতে যাই তখন আমাকে বিদেশ বলতে হয়। এই রিয়ালিটি যে বহন করে সে কখনো ভাষা সীমান্ত মানে না, এটা খুব সহজে মানতে চায় না। যেমন ধরুন, আমি এখানে কিছুক্ষণ আগে ওই বড় ভাষার কবির কথা শুনছিলাম। সীমান্ত কিভাবে একটা ভাষাকেও আক্রমণ করে, ভাষাকে প্রান্তিক করে দেয়। বেশি না, 100 বছর আগে বড় ভাষাভাষী জনজাতি গোটা নর্থ ইস্ট থেকে শুরু করে বাংলাদেশের উত্তর পূর্বাঞ্চল থেকে শুরু করে বিরাট এলাকার মানুষের মূল ভাষা ছিল বড় ভাষা। ডক্টর সুনীতি চট্টোপাধ্যায়ের যে লিঙ্গুইস্টিক সার্ভে রিপোর্ট আছে বোঝা যায়, সেই বড় ভাষাভাষী এতটাই প্রান্তিক হয়ে গেছে। উনি জানেন যে একটা আসামের একটা প্রান্ত জেলা এবং ওই এলাকায় এসে গেছেন, কারণ অন্যান্য ভাষা যাদের রাষ্ট্রীয় ক্ষমতা ছিল, যাদের হাতে শাসন ক্ষমতা ছিল, তারা জনজাতির এই ভাষাকে প্রান্তিক করে দিয়েছে। আজকে ওনার যে পোশাকের কথা বললেন, পোশাকের অস্তিত্বের কথা, এইটা শুধুমাত্র কিন্তু বড় ইন্ডাস্ট্রি গেল, হ্যান্ডলুম প্রান্তিক হলো তা না, তার ভাষাও কিন্তু প্রান্তিক হলো। ওর কবিতার মধ্যে সেই বার্তাটা নিয়ে গেছে। আমাদের আসলে প্রত্যেকের সীমান্ত, আমরা যে সচেতনভাবে থাকি না থাকি, আমরা প্রত্যেকে একটা সীমান্ত বহন করি, এবং এই সীমান্ত আমার নির্ধারিত না, শাসক নিয়ন্ত্রিত, ক্ষমতা নিয়ন্ত্রিত, পাওয়ার নিয়ন্ত্রিত এই সীমান্ত আমাদেরকে বহন করতে হয়। কিন্তু একজন কবি পারে এই সীমান্তকে অস্বীকার করে গোটা বিশ্বের মানুষের মধ্যে সম্পর্ক স্থাপন করতে। আর কবিতা নিয়ে একটা চর্চার সময় আমি একটা কথা বলি, মাইকোভস্কির কথা বলছেন, মাইকোভস্কি 200 বছর এবার হচ্ছে, 200 ইয়ার্স অফ মাইকোভস্কি। মাইকোভস্কি একটা খুব গুরুত্বপূর্ণ কথা বলেছিলেন, কবিতা তখনই সৃষ্টি হয় যখন আপনার মৃত্যুটা আপনার মুখোমুখি আসে, আপনার রাইফেলের ট্রিগারটা আপনার ব্রেনের পাশে আসবে, তখন আপনার শ্রেষ্ঠ কবিতাটি জন্ম নেবে, মৃত্যু আশঙ্কা থেকে, আপনার অস্তিত্ব বিপন্নতা থেকে। সুতরাং কবিতা শুধু ইউটোপীয় একটা ধারণা, ফুল দেখলাম, তা নয়। কবিতা আমার যন্ত্রণা, আমার কান্না থেকে জন্মায়। উনি যে কথাটা বলছেন, মাতৃকোরের সেই কান্না, শুধু মাতৃকোরের কান্না, ওখান থেকে জন্ম। গোটা জীবন মানুষ যে কান্নাকে বহন করে, কবিতা তার থেকে জন্ম নেয়। ধন্যবাদ।
So, Asad Dada, so now your turn. The same questions, but could you explain a little bit about what he...
Thank you.
Because I couldn't catch properly.
Dr. Bisho. Actually, we are very much delighted to be the part of this festival, Litfest. We have come here from far away. You know, we have come from Bangladesh. It was a terrible journey for us to be here. Why we have come here? Only for poetry. Only for poetry. Bhalovasha. It has no limitation, no boundary. Love. It has no boundary, no limitation. And poetry is the heart of love. সেই কবিতাকে সঙ্গে নিয়ে আমরা এখানে এসেছি কবিতার টানে। The issues. Poetry has no limitation or boundary. I have a poem written on it. It's a famous and very popular poem in our Bengali literature. I want to say some word before that I would recite this poem. This is very much related with this event. যদি কোনোদিন নির্বাচন হয়, সমস্ত পৃথিবী জুড়ে যদি কোনোদিন নির্বাচন হয়, আমি সর্বাধিক ভোটে নির্বাচিত হব। আমার সপক্ষে থাকবে আকাশ, নক্ষত্র, নদী, তুমি আর তোমার চুম্বন। বাগানের নিঃসঙ্গ গোলাপ সেও কিন্তু আমাকে ভোট দেবে, কেননা আমার কোনো সঙ্গী নেই। যার কোনো সঙ্গী নেই তার কোনো শত্রু থাকে না। ওই যে একটা পাখি, পাখিদের রাজা, সেও কিন্তু আমাকে ভোট দেবে, কেননা আমার হাতে কোনোদিন বন্দুক ছিল না, বন্দুক থাকে না। এবং আমার পিতা, পিতামহ, তারও পিতামহ, এরা কেউ শিকারে ছিল না, সৈনিক ছিল না। অতএব পাখিরাও, অতএব পশুরাও আমাকে দেবেই দেবে, মূল্যবান ভোট দেবে। সমস্ত পৃথিবী জুড়ে যদি কোনোদিন নির্বাচন হয়, আমি সর্বাধিক ভোটে নির্বাচিত হব। আমার সপক্ষে থাকবে রবীন্দ্রসঙ্গীত, বদলেয়ার, আসাদ মান্নান আমার সপক্ষে থাকবে। আমার সপক্ষে থাকবে মানুষের ব্যর্থতম স্বপ্নগুলো, লেলিহান দুঃখগুলো আমার সপক্ষে থাকবে, আমার সপক্ষে থাকবে। পৃথিবীর 3 ভাগ জল, তৃষ্ণাতুর উদ্ভিদের ছায়া, সবশেষে তুমি আর তোমার চুম্বন। নীলাভ নদীর জলে ওই যে ক্ষুধার্ত সূর্য জলে, সেও কিন্তু আমাকে ফুট দেবে। কেননা একদা একটি স্বপ্নের জন্য আমরা দুজন একই শয্যায়, একই ঘুমে সারা রাত ঘুমিয়েছিলাম, এবং সে ছিল আমাদের প্রথম ও শেষ স্বপ্ন। আমাদের একটি জাতীয় ভূমি চায়, ভালোবাসা, ভালোবাসা, ভালোবাসা। And that is all. Love has no boundary, no limitation. We have come here to embrace love and love human beings, humanity. Thank you all.
So before I go to the audience, Mustafa wants to add maybe 1 or 2 points on the same.
Yeah, see, poem is the national anthem. Amar Shonar Bangla is the national anthem of Bangladesh. So it is Tagore, and his work is not maintaining any border. Take Kaji Nazrul Islam. His birthplace, it is in India. Besides Calcutta, Churulia. After the independence of Bangladesh, our father of the nation, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, he invited him and offered the nationality, and we honored him, and he died over there. His mausoleum, it is in Dhaka. He is our national poet. So, see, his whole works, it was done in this part. It's not maintaining the border. Let's say take another great poet, Jivanananda Das, more metaphoric. He is a different poet. As you know, his birthplace, it is in present Bangladesh, Borishal. He died here in Calcutta. But his work, adorable to all Bengalis, invariably Bengalis of the West Bengal and Bangladeshis of the present Bangladesh. But yes, the point Dr. Bishwapriti raised, when a poet writes a poem on nationalism, means the person wanted to have the identity of his own national, yes. Then there is a border, but this border means, which is hurting you, giving a pain. Poets, they turn down every political frame, every political boundary which is being governed by the tricky politicians. This is what exactly my friend, poet Gautam Roy, just has uttered, that his birthplace, it is in present India, but his parents, forefathers, their birthplace is the present Bangladesh. So that when he sees the border, the fencing, barbed wire fence, he feels a pain. Yes, it's been there. But ultimately, what is the task of a poet? To put big refusal, big no to this political boundary, which is hitting hard, making, it's erosioning of, it's killing your heart rather. So this is how every member of the faculty of poetry is working. It's not the poets actually, it's every creative people rather. But poets are having different power because poetry is a divine thing. It's my own heartbeats, my own feeling. This is what a bit of explained in previous session by many learned poets here. I, I don't need to explain it further, but so far the explanations are given here that while writing poems to awful nationalism, we do have in front of us, there is a boundary, but when we got freedom, then we move forward and say, no boundary, let's hug, let's embrace, let's work together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I want to come to the floor. If any of you have any point to add or any idea on this topic or on these questions about border, so anyone can help us to provide the mic? Any volunteer?
Honorable great dignitaries, the real topic now we are discussing in this Amrit Mahotsav, 75th Amrit Mahotsav of our country. Here are our neighbor countries, land dignitaries having the power in administration, what I guess and they told. They have seen the politics and the nation's thought and deed very closely in their tenure of service to the government. I am extremely pleased. During the 75th year of independence, we the Indians, no Bangladeshi, no Siloni, nothing. It is a country of our Asian belt which dumped a lot and did a lot for this world. So I think there is no boundary. A poet has no boundary. He can dream a lot, he can think a lot, he can change the world. That notional thought should go to every citizen of this universe. We can change this world. We can live peacefully. My question is, in this 75th year of independence, we are very emotional today. We are very observing and we are very patriotic today. We are very patriotic when the boundary of geographical is coming, there is some, but in cultural sect, I have a question. What can we do for the nation as a whole and for the universe as a poet?
Okay, so this question for all of you, but before to answer, I will take any other point if they have.
And now it is a trend, almost all in our world level. Many poets and writers are writing not for their own interest, but for the interest of the nation. Is it very necessary to write for the nation? And is it very necessary for to write against the other nations to get the grace of the nation? Thank you.
So anyone pointer questions from the ladies? I want their participation as well in the session. We all are gentlemen sitting here, so I want your participation as well. Please come here because you are not audible.
प्रश्न नहीं है, ये 4 पंक्तियां हैं जो जब ये डिस्कशन चल रहा था तो ऐसे ही विचार मेरे मन में भी कभी आए थे, तो मैंने एक गीत लिखा था, लेकिन उसकी जो अंतिम 4 लाइन हैं, पंक्तियां हैं, वे इसी पर आधारित हैं। तो आप पहले उत्तर दे दीजिए, फिर मैं बाद में वो शेयर करना चाहती थी।
Okay. So Gautam ji wants to speak.
Okay.
No. She told we have to answer first the question and then she will read out the 4 lines.
क्षमा चाहेंगे, एक लाइन सिर्फ कहना था। सरहद जमी पर खिंची है और जख्म दिल में लिए फिरते हैं।
थैंक यू। ये जो मैं बॉर्डर लेकर बात किया था, उसके क्लोजिंग में थोड़ा 2 लाइन सब बोलना चाहता हूँ। ये जो কবি है ना, जो কবিরা আছে আর কি, তারা গোটা পৃথিবীতে এই বর্ডারকে অগ্রাহ্য করে সভ্যতার যে সেতু বন্ধন সেটা কবিরাই করছে। আমি সাম্প্রতিক উদাহরণে একটি কথা বলতে পারি। ধরুন আফগানিস্তানে একটা আগ্রাসন হলো, আফগানিস্তানের কবি তার বিরুদ্ধে প্রতিবাদ করলেন। প্রথম কিন্তু সেই কবির বার্তাটাই আমরা বাংলা ভাষায় হিন্দিতে অনুবাদ করে মানুষের কাছে নিয়ে গেলাম। যে কোনো জায়গায় সভ্যতা আক্রান্ত হলে প্রথম সক্রিয় প্রতিবাদটা কবি কবিতার মধ্যে দিয়ে করে এবং সেটাই গোটা বিশ্বে ছড়িয়ে দিই। তখন কিন্তু আমরা বর্ডারকে অগ্রাহ্য করে মানবতাকে সবচেয়ে উপরে স্থান দিই। এটাই কবির সবচেয়ে বড় ধর্ম, মানবতাই হচ্ছে সবচেয়ে বড় ধর্ম। এটাই বলতে যাচ্ছিলাম। আর একটা কবিতা আমি বলে শেষ করছি, সরি সময় বেশি নিচ্ছি। এই বর্ডার কাটাতার নিয়ে আমাদের খুব যন্ত্রণা আমরা তো বহন করি, গোটা বিশ্বে এই যন্ত্রণা কেউ বহন করে না। জার্মান বহন করতো, জার্মান বর্ডার ভেঙে দিয়েছে, কিন্তু আমাদের বর্ডার আছে কাটাতার। নীলফামারী থেকে যে চাঁদ একদিন চিলের মতো উড়ে এসে আমাদের উঠোনে ভেঙে পড়েছিল, আমি তার ডাক নাম থেকে মুছে দিতে চাই কাটাতার। আমি তাকে বলেছিলাম দুঃখ করো না, চোখ মোছো। সে ছিল সীমান্ত, তার ঘর ছিল গামারি গাছের জঙ্গল। আমি তাকে মাটির হাড়ির ভেতর রেখে বলেছিলাম ঐক্য ঐক্য। আমি তাকে বিছানার উপরে রেখে বলেছিলাম বড় হও। আমি তাকে কাঠের আগুনে রেখে বলেছিলাম সম্পর্ক। স্নেহবশত আমি তার পিতা রান্নাঘরে একদিন তাকে বলেছিলাম পাগলি কোলে আয় ভাত খাবো। আজ তার 2 স্তনে শরণার্থীর মতো মুখ রেখে বলি সরাও কাটাতার, সীমান্ত পেরিয়ে আমরা বিবাহে যাব। এর কি ট্রান্সলেশন দরকার আছে?
So sorry sir, no need to translate
Okay,
because
okay, thank you.
so our poets are very clever, so they don't miss the chance to read their poetry. So we just limited because we have a limited time. So just before the answer, I would like to say, I basically write in Nepali. And my poems has been, my book has been translated into English, and that translated into Farsi, and from Farsi that translated into Turkish, and now in the process of publishing. So it means poetry doesn't need visa and some other official requirements. Okay. Let me finish first. So, but our friend Kamrul Hassan wanted to participate here today, but he didn't get visa on time. So he stopped there in Bangladesh. So these both situations we are experiencing, and with the fast development of technology and social media, the poetry can travel anywhere so quickly. So at this paradoxical situation, so I would like to ask questions to all of you. How can we promote, how can we use our poetry, or how can we break the border, if there is any, through the literature? But before you answer, I would like to give opportunity to the ma'am. She wanted to ask something.
But Dr. Kobi Bishmapriti, already 2 questions are on the table. Would you please allow us to address? Otherwise,
maybe because
we'll be stuck.
No, the time is running out. So just we will take one question from.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. We have
it's okay.
limited
It's
time.
okay. We'll go for comprising. Yeah, please.
Very short question in a very short language. Okay.
Now, with respect to the time and the dais and off the dais, I would just like to say one thing. If you keep a title like Literature Knows No Borders, One World, One Family, if you look at it from the angle of literature, It is one world, one family. But if you look at it from the angle of politics, it's divide and rule. जैसा अभी इन्होंने कहा, सरहदें जमीन पे खींची जाती हैं, है ना, दिलों पे नहीं. तो ये बात आंखों देखी है. I've been to Wagah border and I was being very inquisitive as an observer and seeing what is happening at the border. और इत्तेफाक से मैं शाम में गई थी वहां पे. वहां जाके जो देखा तो यही देखा कि सवेरे जब तक कि बंद नहीं होता है उस समय तक सब लोग जो है बहुत मुस्तैद हैं. आप उस साइड में और इस साइड में दोनों तरफ के सैनिक जो हैं बहुत मुस्तैद हैं. सब अपना अपना ड्यूटी कर रहे हैं, कोई एक दूसरे को नहीं देख रहा है. और जैसे ही शाम में वो मार्च पास्ट होती है और सब बंद हो जाता है, बैठ के सब साथ में खाते हैं. तो ये क्या है? तो it has got two angles and you cannot see it from both the angles at the same time. Thank you.
Can I
Thank you, ma'am.
start putting short answers to close the session?
Very,
Poet
very,
Asad,
very,
Poet,
shortly.
Poet Asad Manan prefaced that I put answer on behalf of Bangladesh because those questions are addressed to us. First of all, there is in a word public diplomacy. It has connection with the culture, with the literature, so as well as with the poetry. So, sir, as you have raised this point, how to solve it out? This is what develop friendship between people. That's called public diplomacy. That's it. And the second question raised by sir, I don't know his name anyway. That is it necessary to write a poem against any country? No. A real poet never hits any country, any nation. That's it. So our task is constructive, not destructive. That's all. That's all for listening. And Shire from Bihar, what you have said, same thing we do carry. Ma'am already explained it, touching your point. So we are in the same boat, brother. Thank you. Thank you for listening us.
You go for 1 minute.
Hello. So millions of years back, Sahara Desert formed. The wind will be taking the sands of the Sahara Desert to Amazon forest. There is no border. The West Bengal, the water of Bay of Bengal is sharing the Bangladesh and also India. There is no border. Indian Ocean water sharing with China, India, Japan, all that. There is no border. I already wrote a poem about Nile River. It is originally formed from the Victoria waterfalls, touching the 8 nations, finally ending in the Egypt. There is no border. Actually, the nature is never created a border. Instead, the selfish woman is designed the border, and he is also suffering the worst relating to the border issue.
So we are in now. So I think this is the very interesting topic, but we can't make a single solution in a very short time period. So we need more conversation, more discussion. But what I think is that the harmony and the peace and the welfare of humanity is very much necessary. So the poets all over the globe should be in one place in writing, and we all should work for promoting peace, global harmony, and the welfare of humanities. That is the only way, I think, to fight against the all types of barriers, not only the political, but we are facing so many types of barrier in different countries, different culture, different tradition. So to break down such barriers, education is not sufficient. We have to work together, I think so. So thank you for your opinion, and thank you for the audience to listen to us. And thank you, this Inkdew family, for letting us this platform to share our views. Thank you. So
Thank you so much, sir, for it was really a wonderful session, and we got to know many information from all of you. And it could be really many more discussions would be there, but due to the time constraint, so we could not proceed it. So I would like to request Akash Naik, Mumbai, India, to come up on the dais and present the memento to our dignitaries. Dr. Mujtaba, okay. Mujtaba Ahmed Mursid, Bangladesh. Bangladesh. Okay. Dr. Bhisma Opreti, Nepal. Sivadas Swami Matam, UAE. Asad Manan, Bangladesh. Okay. Asad Manan, Bangladesh. Mustafa Ahmed Masjid, Bangladesh. Receipt? Okay. Then Mustaq Ahmed, India. Gautam Guhare, India. Gautam Guhare, India. Thank you so much, sir, for giving your time on this program. And we are very glad, we are happy to have you on our platform, Inkdew. It was really a very nice session from all of you, sir. Thank you once again. Thank you for coming, Daman Jodi, or make this Inkdew Lit Festival a grand one. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lovely dance program for all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a small break now. After some time, we have a lovely dance program and then we have the cultural program and you can enjoy that too. Thank you. Now we have a small break. Ladies and gentlemen, within this small break time, anyone, those who have not participated in this program in Tulip Fest, if they want, they can recite their poetry here. Anyone who are not participated in this Inkdew Lit Fest, those can come here and recite your poem on dais. Nobody. Okay. Okay, so let's enjoy the small break.